welcome to WeNeedWrestling, everybody. My voice is already starting to tremble because of the week we're having. There's the pop. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, let me get that out of the way for you.
Yeah. So, I mean, weird week in wrestling for the world.
Yeah.
Weird week in wrestling for us. For you and I, for me, a literal highest of highs followed by like the dreaded lowest of lows. And we're going to talk about it here. We're going to do our regular show. And, you know, with the added bonus up front that I'm going to cry through. But, you okay? How are you, pal? I guess we're gonna do that. We're okay. I'm okay.
We're getting through.
You're gonna find out about our week throughout the course of this show. So there's not a ton to really lead up front, right? We've just spent the last 2 hours sitting on the couch watching Terry Funk stuff. Of course, Terry passed away yesterday as we record this Wednesday.
Wednesday,
August
23rd.
And you know, while we're watching Terry Funk stuff, we find out that Bray Wyatt has passed away. A crazy circumstance. Sad. Our thoughts out to his entire family and friends. Lots of stories and well wishes and sort of, character testimonies from his friends about how great he was and nice he was and creative he was. The Sean Ross Sapp in between wiping boogers from his nose, allegedly, he breaks the news that it seems maybe it was a heart attack, but who knows? The family wanted some stuff cleared out before the rumors got running. But Triple H, I think, was the first to tweet it and break that news.
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt, Wyndham Rotunda, The Fiend, Husky Harris, son of Mike Rotunda, nephew of Barry Windham. He died today, 36 years old.
Yep.
That's crazy in a wild week of what became wrestling sadness over the last 2 days.
Yeah, man, it's heartbreaking. Straight up.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's
right.
You know, he's behind a wife and 4 kids.
Right. And it's just cut wildly short at 36 years old.
Yeah. I always dug Bray.
Yeah.
His stuff in NXT when it first started popping up with like the Wyatt family, thought was so fucking cool and different.
Stuff. Yep.
You know, obviously the WWE run, like their stuff against the Shield, it was incredible.
Awesome. Right.
You know, I'm not gonna go full retrospective, but I always enjoyed Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
You know, the Fiend stuff, like the fucking, what was it? The Playhouse.
The Funhouse.
Funhouse, the Firefly Funhouse. Like, dude, that shit was so much fun.
Yeah.
You know, like, I remember during that time, like, listening Without Odds, and it was like, that was their big thing every week. It was like, oh, what happened this week with the Firefly Funhouse, you know?
Right.
I mean, the dude was super creative, you know, sometimes for better, for worse, but that's why you take chances.
Right.
That's why you do shit.
Right. He's definitely the biggest risk taker that WWE allowed, like gimmick wise, character wise, in a long time.
I mean, he went through many different stages of his character.
Yeah. For sure.
You know, hey, he had a WrestleMania match where he defended it with the world title against Randy Orton. Right. You know, like that's saying something.
Sure. He also wrestled LA Knight in a Mountain Dew match.
Well, that was the last match.
That was his last match. Yeah.
You know,
crazy,
which is kind of like bittersweet looking at that a little bit.
Yeah. He probably deserved better.
Yeah, man. It's. I don't know, dude. It's fucked up.
Yeah, so he didn't always click with me. I like the NXT stuff. Like the Burn Fiend stuff, it was over by that point for me.
Yeah.
The Alexa Bliss stuff was beyond.
I mean, but even at that point with the Burn Fiend stuff, he was over it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Brody had passed.
Right. Exactly.
And him and Brody were very tight.
Right.
And it was after, I think it It was the Burn Fiend thing at Mania, and then he was like, I got to take a break.
Yeah.
I need to relax, you know? But he was fired. He got let go.
Yep.
Then he was brought back in, and, you know, there was the whole Wyatt 6 stuff and whatever that never fully got to come to fruition. But yeah, man, super bummer.
36 is that's weird.
It's way too goddamn young.
Absolutely. That's like right in between us.
Yeah.
And me.
Yeah, I mean, literally, I'm going to be 34 next week.
Yeah.
You know, like it's... Yeah, I don't know. Makes you... I don't know. It's just weird.
It's weird.
It's weird.
It's sad. It's family.
Sad, yeah.
36 is, you know, that's not even middle-aged yet, really.
No.
So,
speaking of middle-aged...
At least that's what I'm telling myself.
Speaking of middle-aged, though,
yes.
Terry Funk.
Yes.
Middle-aged and crazy, like a wide-eyed scorpion.
Right.
You know, that one fucking hurt. It hurts.
Yeah.
You know, like I put up the picture of you and I like last Thursday, like came to your house. I'm wearing the Chainsaw Charlie shirt. You're wearing the Terry Funk shirt. We just like looking like, God damn it, we did it again. You know. But you're like, oh, let me go change. And I was like, no, you're not fucking changing.
Right.
This is Terry Funk.
Yeah. We look good in a Walmart camera.
I know. Yeah. Right. I know. We Target, but either way.
Target was it Target?
Yeah, it was Target.
All right, Target. Sorry.
Either way.
Stricken from the record.
Yeah, we look good in department stores.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, though, man, it you know, you knew it was coming.
Right. Long life. 79 years old is a long time.
Yeah, I mean that's longer than the average male.
Right.
And for the things that Terry did to his body, to entertain everybody and make a living.
Absolutely.
You know, you really saw less and less of him when Vicky died.
Yep.
He kind of took a backseat to everything. You know, we were talking before, right before, you know, the pandemic kind of shut everything down for 2.5 years or whatever. He was going to be in Philadelphia for his last East Coast appearance.
They said, right.
And we were going, and I was like, I can't fucking wait, you know?
And I had done the autograph thing. It was his last autograph signing because he just couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
So I got an autograph figure. But yeah, we were going to go meet him and sort of, you know, let him know one last time.
And
so
fortunately, that, you know, taken away. Yeah, man. It's the fucking greatest.
Yes.
It is, man.
You know, I got 1.5 million text messages and thank you to everybody who did reach out. I'm going to cry through most of this. So
it's all right, hey, man. Let it go.
You know, that's my guy, and it's been my guy for so long that like the people I didn't expect were like texting me like, "Hey, I saw the news. Are you okay?" Like not even like a, "Oh my God, did Terry Funk die?" Just, "Are you okay?" Like, you know, and I, you know, talking to Michelle knows how much I love Terry Funk, and I sort of said, you know, like, I can make exceptions for, like, I can't pick my favorite movie, right? I know the movie I watched the most, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But like, you know, I have a handful of favorite movies. I can't pick a clear number one. I have, you know, I will often tout Motorhead as my favorite band. But that can also be based on mood. And also, it's like Motorhead's not your thing. Or, you know, you don't like that kind of music or you like a band better, you know, whatever. I'm willing to hear that argument. You know, I get it. Motorhead's my thing. It doesn't have to be everybody's thing, right? But on a given day, it could be the Stooges. It could be just a bunch of other bands. But until my dying breath, I will not accept anyone that says Terry Funk isn't the greatest professional wrestler of all time. He is my number one favorite professional wrestler that will never change. I don't see anybody being able to do that. And he has been, excuse me for a second here, forever. And it's, you know, we talk a bit here about how my brain works as opposed to wrestling memories, and how like Joe remembers a ton and where he was and what, you know, like you could probably ask Joe what seat he was in at the ECW arena and he would know it. And you have that good of a memory too. You remember what happens at what WrestleMania and all that stuff. I don't have the memory for that kind of stuff. But I remember walking up to the the tape booth at ECW in Kingston Armory. We will not mention his name. But I remember walking up and saying in my first ECW show, "What do you have that has lots of Terry Funk in it?"
Yeah, man.
And because at that point, this is a little bit later in ECW's run, but, this is 98, 99, I guess, maybe 97, I doubt it. But, Terry is the guy who made that company feel legitimate, right? It's the Beyond the Mat speech to Paul that Paulie gives, like all that sort of stuff, like welcome to the dance stuff. But like Terry was so important to me. And that was, I remember being given options of, well, there's this Best of Cactus Jack that's going to have him all over it. There's this 2-tape shoot interview. And I didn't really understand what a shoot interview was.
Sure.
And then there was this King of the Deathmatch tournament from 1995. And it said on an IWA King of the Deathmatch tournament, and then in parentheses it said Cactus versus Funk.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll take that one. And I took that one. And I remember going back to my seat and sort of stewing that I didn't have enough money for 3 tapes. I had enough money for 2 tapes, but I didn't want to, and the shoot interview was 2 tapes. And I didn't want to just buy one of them. And it was 4 hours each. It was 8 hours of tapes. And I remember sitting there and I remember talking to my friends and I remember bumming the money off one of them to go and buy both tapes. And I walked out of there with the IWA King of the Deathmatch 95 tournament and the first RF Terry Funk shoot interview, which is 8 hours long. I think you did 2 more after that, maybe even 3 more after that.
Probably.
And like a lot of people of my age, your age, that IWA Deathmatch tournament changed lives.
Straight up. Like the first time seeing that, it's like jarring,
right?
But in a good way.
It's infamous.
Yeah.
It could very well be tamed by today's standards.
Yeah.
There's no tubes. But that whole tournament changed point of views in wrestling fandoms and mindsets about what could and couldn't happen. And it is a remarkable tape that then gets, some more notoriety through Stranglemania. Oh. Right, which is super important to both of us from our teenage years.
Absolutely.
But that really changed my world. And that was what made Terry Funk my favorite wrestler. And then I got the shoot interview, and I remember watching that straight through. 8 hours. All night. Sat up watching 8 hours of Terry Funk shoot interview, and it covers his entire career. And most of the match quality is real shitty.
Yeah. But
Terry was telling fun stories, and I still quote stuff from that all the time. Like how Terry Funk would say charisma. And Mick Foley would always correct him, and he would say, and I would tell Mick, I said, you don't pronounce charm. So you got a lot of charisma, kid. And I still quote that all the time. And I remember he's chewing tobacco in the video and spinning in a cup. And it's just such a great, and I haven't seen that in forever. And he's done a bunch of shooters since then, but that is still like the most comprehensive one there is. And it's really a remarkable thing. But that's sort of my origin story with Terry Funk. I don't know that I remember him prior to that anywhere. I'm sure I've seen him, but I don't know that I remember him. 89, I don't think I was watching wrestling when I was 5 years old.
So as funny as this may be, my first exposure to Terry Funk was WCW when it was with Stud Stable.
Okay.
Like, I remember him being there. I almost remember Bunkhouse Buck a little more for some reason, but Saturday nights, my uncle always used to tape WCW Saturday night for me, Right. And I was like, I remember being a kid, being like, man, that guy's crazy, Second memory of him was Chainsaw Charlie.
Right.
I remember watching that Raw live.
Yeah.
I remember I was like, scared.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't know. Like, there's a guy coming out of a box with a fucking chainsaw and a pantyhose on his head. I was, what was that, 97, 98?
Yeah.
I wasn't even 10 years old yet, So I was like, oh, what is that, And then I always talk about it, the January 2000 Nitro from the Wilkes-Barre Arena, like seeing Funk and Flair promo battle, and like I forever, dude, I go back and look and I go, holy fuck, I got to see that in person.
Right.
I like it just doesn't at the time again, I was 10 when that show happened. I didn't realize what I was seeing.
Right.
And then you go back and watch and just holy shit, I got to be there for that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, and then obviously teenage years, you know, internet becomes real popular, you know, King of the Death Match, ECW stuff. Like, dude, I remember the first time seeing Born to Be Wired. I felt like I was doing something wrong,
right?
You know, because it was one of those things where I read about it and I was like, whoa, that sounds crazy.
It was the first thing I watched last night.
I watched it last night too. But it was like one of those, I'm like, should I be watching this? You know, this is kind of like,
it's still jarring to this day.
You know?
Yeah.
And just, you're right, man. It just, the King of the Deathmatch stuff, Born to Be Wired, it really like, it gave me like this idea of Terry Funk as like, oh, this guy's fucking nuts and I love him. And then I remember, I think it was the first Ric Flair DVD that came out, like the DVD set.
Yeah. The white one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
I have two copies of that one.
I love that. And the Funk stuff on there.
Yeah.
And seeing the promo where Funk just fucking hits him after Flair denies him of that shot at the world's title because we have a top 10 here, Terry, and you've been hanging around Hollywood, and man, like it just it changed my mind about Funk.
Yeah.
Of like, oh no, he's an amazing professional wrestler. You know, not that I didn't think he was just because the barbed wire stuff. I just thought, oh, the guy's a hardcore nut. He's crazy. But then seeing that and then the promos and the matches and just like, oh wow, this guy's fucking amazing.
Yeah. For sure.
And even so, I had, I missed this part, I had a best of WCW Halloween Havoc VHS tape. Okay. That like my grandmother bought me like, I don't know, Ames or some shit. And on there is the Havoc 89 cage match.
Right, yeah.
You know, it's clipped for the VHS tape.
Sure.
But again, like
they don't show you Muda blowing out the fire.
Sadly, no. Yeah. Which years later, when I went back and watched that, was like that awoke something in me. You know, that's where obviously like you know, I really fell in love with the Great Muda.
Right.
But like seeing Terry on there and like, oh, it was so cool, you know? Yeah. And yeah, I mean, obviously, man, you're like the aficionado when it comes to Terry, no doubt. But like, man, I fucking love Terry Funk.
Yeah.
Dude, like, how often do we quote Terry Funk?
Fine.
Not even quoting him, but like
things about him.
Yeah, like Terry Funk ain't wearing no mouthpiece. Yep. That's like one of my favorite things to say, you know?
Yeah, so thinking about it, when you're thinking about it, I must have seen Funk in a box in ECW before the IWA death match.
Yeah.
But like, so I must have known him from somewhere. I'm even wondering if maybe I saw Stranglemania first and then saw the IWA death match. I was like, that's where this is from. I don't know. But yeah, he's a legend. He did so much and was so sort of formative. And I did get to meet him when I was a teenager. I still have the picture.
That's one of my favorite pictures.
I was so nervous. It barely looks like me.
Yeah, it really
doesn't. I was a young, thin man. I was 15, maybe.
You were 15, dude.
And I was wearing my knit cap that I wore forever until it got a giant hole in it. I love that hat. But
he's got you in a headlock.
I remember how nice he was, how nervous I was. It was at Carson's. I remember he told my friend Kyle that he looked like Paulie because Kyle had long hair and a baseball cap. He told me, you look like Paulie. And I just remember being real nervous. And he signed, I had the signed picture and it says, to my hardcore buddy, stay out of jail. Because he signed that for everybody. Yeah. And he signed a t-shirt. I had the Funk You 2 t-shirt signed by him. And the 8x10. And he signed a picture for a friend of ours, Frank, who couldn't make it who was Terry Funk's also his favorite wrestler, and he couldn't make it, but we paid for the autograph, and I got it for him, and I explained to him, I said, you know, big fan. I said, we're both giant fans. You're my favorite wrestler of all time, and he was very humble about it. And I said, a friend of mine can't make it, but he asked if I can get an 8x10 for him, and he signed it to Frank. DJ put me in a spinning toe hold and forced me to sign this autograph for you, like your friend or your pal Terry Funk. And I know Frankie still has it, and I'm surprised I didn't get a message from him today. But yeah, it was even back then I was super nervous, and I said I don't know if I met him as an adult I'd be any more eloquent. I don't think I'd be able to do anything beyond like you're my favorite wrestler of all time. Thank you, Mr. Funk. Because he really does mean the world to me. And I cried yesterday. I was in my chiropractor appointment when I saw Ric Flair post about it. And I sent it to you and was like, please check this. And then you called me, but I was in the office.
Yeah, I'm sure like when you saw my name pop up on the phone, you're like, oh, fuck.
Right. And because it's Flair, you can't trust everything Flair says. No. But Mick posted it, and that's pretty much where that landed. And I almost cried in the chiro waiting room. I was like, hold it together. You don't have to explain to your chiropractor that you're sobbing because a 79-year-old man you never met has passed away. But he is that important to me. And I didn't tell you this, and it's going to be very hard for me to get through. But I did write a little eulogy.
Oh, man, why are you going to do this to me?
I did tell you I was going to make you cry.
Yeah, you fuck.
It's going to be really tough, but I stayed up last night. I couldn't sleep, and I was watching.
Hold on, I'm going to have to chew on a Smurf gummy here.
I was watching Terry Funk stuff, and, and it's been really nice seeing everyone else sort of talk about him and knowing that he has all these fans. Michelle said once that Terry Funk was explained to him or her as your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler, and she's like, I understand that. That makes sense. Oh. But, and you said kindly that I'm the foremost sort of guy. And I'm sure there's other people, but it is my guy, and I do know a ton about him, and I've studied his career, and, I was on with our pals on Final Wrestling Place.
I thought about that earlier
to do that episode about Terry Funk. And I did the Twitter thread that Elon Musk ruined on Terry Funk's last birthday, which is even more of a reason for me to hate him.
Yep.
But I did get through like 89 or whatever. I don't know. That took a long, long time because once I started, I was like, well, I got to hit almost everything.
Yeah.
But I wrote this eulogy. It's short, but it's going to choke me up the whole time. But I'm going to try. So don't make fun of me for crying, and don't make fun of me if it's stupid. But this is me at 2 a.m. last night, and then I did some slight edits to it this morning. So... farewell to Funker. Amarillo, Texas's favorite son was born to be wired on June 30th of 1944 and forced into retirement on August 23rd of 2023. The second son of Dorothy Culver and Dory Funk Sr., younger brother to Dory Funk Jr. Terry would debut for his father's Western States sports promotion in 1965 against Sputnik Monroe and quickly rise through the ranks. Following in his brother's footsteps, by 1975, Terry had already solidified his legacy by becoming NWA champion, a reign that lasted 424 days. But that's only the first part of the legend. Over the next 30-plus years, the world would be gifted with the greatest pro wrestler to ever lace up a pair of boots. Through hard-fought battles in Japan and legendary battles with egg-sucking dogs, from empty arenas against the King in Memphis to chair riots in Philly, in fights with banana-nosed cowards in Troy, New York, to explosions in FMW, to a starring role in Roadhouse. Terry showed wrestling fans what it truly meant to be meaner than a rattlesnake, tougher than shoe leather, and certainly more dangerous than a hollow-eyed scorpine. Terry made sure everyone knew that he didn't need no goddamn theme music. We were told that he didn't wear no mouthpiece. And he showed us that if you came out of a box, you were guaranteed to be over. Terry Funk had a pro wrestling career most people dream about. In fact, he had it 3 times over. Funk found success as a man who knew how to reinvent himself, how to be unselfish in selfish times, and knew when to go home to his sick horse. A legend's legend, a pro's pro, your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler. Straight out of Texas, kicking ass and taking names. Tuesdays are for Terry, but Terry Funk is forever. That's... Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's my guy. And, it's the saddest I've ever been for somebody I didn't know. And, we have to make sure, Joe told me this, like, because he was one of the people that texted me, and like, we have to make sure that people don't forget Terry. And there's going to be a lot of people that don't make sure that Terry's not forgotten, right? Because he is a legend. Even Ric Flair was like, he taught me a lot. And, Ric Flair's high up on that pedestal. But I don't know that you have a Ric Flair without a Terry Funk. I don't know that a lot of these people are able to come to the level that they do without running across Terry Funk's path, right? He has the one title run. The rumor was always that he wasn't supposed to win it, that he subbed in for his brother, and it was a shoot, or it was a work, and whatever. But he was champion. He's on the cover of the first ever NWA magazine.
Yep.
And he has this amazing career in Japan. Retires in the early 80s. Goes into Hollywood, comes back, sort of has this other career almost. Even in between, like his Japan career, his style in Japan's a little different than his style in the U.S. He invents the hardcore over there in Japan with Brody and Abdullah and Stan. And he has this crazy career in the NWA in the 80s, through the 70s and 80s. He has the Japan career running concurrently. He feuds with Flair in what is still, to me, the greatest feud in professional wrestling history.
No doubt. It like nothing touches it.
It runs a year, and it's absolutely insane and completely captivating. And then, like, the mid-90s, he's 44 years old in 89, 45, when he's what some may consider his peak. It's certainly one of the peak wrestling years. 89 is an amazing year for professional wrestling.
It's incredible.
And he then reinvents for ECW and FMW, and is this he was middle-aged and crazy long before he ever got to ECW. Because when we watch that Mark Henry match today from 2001, when JR says middle-aged and crazy, and Lawler says, how many 106-year-old men do you know? But his ECW run is really great, and it's what a lot of people remember. And I still think, even when I close my eyes and think of him, I think of the striped tights. And that's not until till post 89. It's not until the early 90s that he's wearing the red, black, and white, or the blue and black, or the yellow, gray, and black, or whatever. Then they were just like women's tights, pantyhose that he put over, over a pair of underwear over. But like the ECW thing is really this remarkable run that helps legitimize the company and sort of plants his cultural image of that sort of crazy old man. He starts doing moonsaults. That's another thing we quote all the time.
Who wants to see the funker do a moonsault?
And you just see all the praise pouring in the indie shows, and him, look up the stuff about AIW with him with the brawl with Duke and Eddie Kingston. Like Terry always delivered, right? And you see the other wrestlers saying, we all know that Eddie Kingston's very open, that Terry Funk's the GOAT. And a lot of people feel that way. Bill McKenna from Mattel and Kyle Peterson, the figure guy, says, like, everybody talks about Terry Funk and how great and important he was. And he lived a long life, so it almost feels weird, particularly with the news of Bray Wyatt today. Yeah. That, like, to be so mournful over Terry, because he lived longer than a lot of people thought he should have, especially with the abuse he did to his body.
Yeah.
There's, again, it's morbid and like, there's no way this is fair or whatever, but like, the fact that Ric Flair is still drinking on his same liver he was born with is really a remarkable thing.
I mean, we always say it, but look at Jake Roberts.
Right, and I think those guys feel that way, right?
They do.
I think they know.
They do.
But Mick Foley wrote a really nice post and said, he's slipped pretty far in the last couple of months. And sort of January was the last time he saw him, and he was in a good day, and then it got sort of less and less.
So Dark Side of the Ring on Twitter, they put up the video of Mick like seeing him in January. Yeah. And it's so nice, it's just and it's nice to see those two.
And Mick saying, he's the greatest professional wrestler I ever saw. And I can't disagree. Every aspect of the things that he did in wrestling were so good, and he could be, the absolute best, most believable wild man you've ever seen.
Yeah.
And even when he was being a wild man, he'd still make you laugh with a sell or just a little movement. You know, he never confined himself to any of that stuff.
No, man, he was such an entertainer.
Right. Right. Amazing on the mic, great in the ring, a better wrestler in the ring than a lot of people realize. And like, you know, his style's changed, but like the Flair I Quit match is one of the greatest professional wrestling matches of all time.
It really is.
Like it's top 5, maybe my number 1. Like it is an amazing professional wrestling match. You know, and again, he's 44, 45 years old at that point. But in the 70s, the footage is harder to find. If 60s stuff from Amarillo is incredibly hard to find. But you know, he was a great wrestler, a better promo, and the most adaptable wrestler there ever was.
I mean, just look at the feuds that he had. You know, like Harley Race,
Right.
Dusty Rhodes.
You definitely don't have Dusty Rhodes without Terry Funk.
No. You know, Jerry Lawler, obviously.
Right.
You know, Lawler,
Right.
Oh my God. Like we were watching earlier.
You're on Lawler's side. The fans are on Lawler's side.
Like we were watching earlier where he just jumps in the ring
Yep.
and beats up just 2 fucking jabrones,
Right.
just screaming for Lawler, like high-pitched shrieking almost, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just so like,
Yep.
man, you don't get that.
He goes, you can't get rid of me, Lawler. I'm going to move here.
Move in here, Lawler.
I'm going to get a house in Memphis, Lawler.
Like, it's like from that shit to, you know, us watching, you know, there's ECW stuff,
right?
With Raven, the promo we watched earlier. Yeah. Quote the fucker, nevermore, you piece of shit.
Right, where he sits in the corner, he's trying to goat Raven, and Raven's
so
like, I don't need to fight you. It's not. We're gonna do this in the ring or whatever. He's like, you're not gonna get me to fight you. You're not gonna get me to lose control.
Yeah, and just Terry does. He gets him to lose
and he's like, you know what? You're a whiner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my daddy never loved me. Yeah. Oh my God. Like,
right.
Dude, like from that to, you know, I watched last night when he made his return in WWE in 2006, the stuff with Foley, like just, hey, Foley, your wife's a whore. Hey, Foley, your kids are bastards. And when he calls them satchel ass, you know, like it's just.
He throws a chicken at Dustin Rhodes.
Dude, he throws a fucking chicken.
He gets kicked by that horse in the stable against Candido in the arm, thankfully, and he hits the horse.
I remember the Dirty Funker. He answered me on Twitter one time when I asked, like, ask Terry about the horse, you know?
Right.
Yeah, dude. You and I could sit here and wax poetic.
I've watched just about everything. I constantly look for new stuff. I'm constantly consuming more Terry Funk media. I don't watch as much as I used to. I particularly don't find myself watching as much of the All Japan stuff from the 70s and 80s that I should get back to because it's very good with him and his brother.
You know what? It is very good, but I agree. Yeah. I almost find like you know, the matches are great, but like just the promos, man.
Right.
Like
I jump to the like if I'm gonna watch promos, I'm watching stuff from Florida.
Yeah.
If I'm watching matches and stuff, I'm watching the spectacles in ECW or IWA or FMW.
Him in the fucking shower from Florida.
Oh, it's my favorite Terry Funk promo
the motor
of all time.
oil. Oh my God!
I saw that promo for the first time on that shoot interview.
Did you really?
That was the first time I ever saw it. And I remember telling people about it, and there was no other way to get it. Like it was the internet was in its infancy, and it just wasn't around for the longest time. And I just used to tell people like, there's this promo. It's in black and white. He's in a shower. He pours motor oil over his head, and then a 5-pound bag of dirty dirt because that's exactly what it is. Because he wants to know what it feels like to be a greasy, grimy Florida cracker.
Yeah.
And it's this crazy promo, and the man actually drinks motor oil in it.
Dude, fucking.
I remember when Joe Sposo sent it to me for the first time. He's like, "Here, it's online." I was like, "Oh my God, it finally exists."
Dude, even the fucking what was it, Fall Brawl '94, the War Games match, the promo about the FBI.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Fat Boys Incorporated.
Right.
Like, it's just amazing.
Even in the sort of worst era of WCW, worst in quotes, 2000, 2001, where he's commissioner, and the Old Age Outlaws.
Yeah.
And, he's wrestling Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
Like his hardcore title matches with Norman Smiley are really good.
Yeah.
He was just this adaptable guy who, knew that he was slowing down, and you could see it, but, it never made him any less believable.
No.
Even at 55 or 57 years old, you were like, this guy has a chance because
God,
he
the
is
fucking Old Age Outlaws.
He's completely uncontrollable.
Yeah.
He's absolutely believable. And because his punches were so good that you never left that state of Terry Funk could win this. He could beat anybody. Because he was just a fucking madman. You'd have to kill him.
So I looked up on Twitter when I asked the Dirty Funker.
Yeah.
Because he was saying it's about time to get Mr. Funk on the phone, answer the questions.
Yeah.
I asked if he got revenge on that horse that kicked him during the match with Candido. And Terry responded, "No, I was afraid of the horse. I didn't want to get kicked again. That's for damn sure."
Right. So,
oh man,
he's got the stories, and there's countless interviews and podcasts, and in the last couple of years when he was cognizant and sort of around, he was telling the same stories just fine.
I never got old of him.
Right,
though. That's the problem.
His book is very good.
Yeah,
he tells a lot of fun stories. I saw that story this week of. With Briscoe in Japan. I'd never seen that before from Gerald Briscoe's book.
Yeah.
It was Jerry Briscoe. About buying the motorcycles from the junkyard for $50. And when they were done with them, they're like, "What are you going to do with these motorcycles?" And Terry was like, "The only thing we can do, drive them into the river."
Flair was on the Yes Network with Peter Rosenberg.
Yeah.
And they was asking this stories about Funk, and tells the fucking one of my favorite stories of Flair's wife and her friend coming home, and the wife and her friend being like, "Who the hell is that?" And Flair's wife goes, "Well, that's my husband, and that's the world's heavyweight champion, and it's Terry Funk Army crawling around the yard with a knife in his mouth." Yeah, naked.
Hunting Ric Flair's dog.
Because they were fucking hammered off Everclear.
Right. Right.
It's just, oh man, that shit is so funny.
It's the best. It really is. And he also has which is really remarkable. It's hard to find a sort of a locked down solid version of it, but his wrestling training tree is insane.
Yeah, it really is, man.
Because of the relationship that him and his brother had with Giant Baba in All Japan in the 70s and 80s, everybody was sent through Amarillo.
Yeah.
So Tenryu, Shiruda, Onita. Oh, Onita posted about him and said, I basically lived in Terry Funk's house for a month for free.
Yep.
And Terry Funk later calls him a chicken shit. But
I don't need no fucking stitches. Right. Not like Onita. That chicken shit.
He's got the heart of a chicken. But,
so perfect, man.
And the stories about Dusty being his backup on West Texas State, and just all that sort of stuff, and Dusty wanted to come to the Funk school, and just the training tree it's legitimately insane. And he just trained so many people from Japan and so many people in the U.S. and just passed it, and also seemingly passed his knowledge throughout his career, always sort of, willing to teach and learn and put people over. And that's a big thing, too, that a lot of people are talking about. In 89, he has that match against a very young Eddie Guerrero. Yep. I'm like, Eddie gets shit in that match. It's not one-sided as you'd think.
I went back and I was re-listening to Jim Ross's episode about Terry from, it's over 2 years at this point. Yeah. And he talked about the Eddie Guerrero match. Mm-hmm. And Conrad kind of says, why didn't Eddie get signed there? Yeah. And he goes, bullshit that he was too small.
Right.
He goes, Terry loved that guy.
Yeah.
And he wanted to make him.
Right.
And they just didn't listen to Terry.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Then the funny thing about that is Terry was told by Vince that he was too small to main event a pay-per-view against Hogan.
Which is nuts.
They had to pay it off on Saturday night's main event.
Yeah.
And then he went home to his sick horse. Vince, my
horse is sick.
My horse is sick. Terry, how's the horse? Just a legend in the truest sense of the word. I would say about as controversial of a wrestler you could possibly find.
Yeah.
There's no Terry stories of him exposing himself.
Loved his wife.
Right. Loved his wife. And, I ain't going to say that he probably didn't run around on the
road.
The times were the times.
Yeah.
But married forever to Vicky, 2 wonderful daughters, a family man, always made sure he took care of his family. Had the Double Cross Ranch for a long, long time. I read today that him and his brother ran the Amarillo territory until 1980.
Wow.
And sold it to Blackjack Mulligan, and it closed within a year.
That doesn't surprise me, man.
But and just all the great stories. There was a story from the shooter interview that I love. One of my favorite stories is Terry and Dory are little kids, and they're at a restaurant. They're at like a fast food joint or whatever existed back then, and they're sitting at a booth together, and Terry's dad is off at another booth or in line or something, and some guy comes in and squeezes next to Dory in the seat and says, "You can tell me this whole wrestling thing's fake, right?" And Terry slips out of the booth while the guy's talking to Dory, and he goes and gets his dad, and his dad walks over to the guy, and he says, "You talking to my boys?" And he's like, Says, "What are you asking him?" And he goes, "I'll show you how fake it is." He laid him out in that restaurant.
Perfect.
And there you go. That's how fake wrestling is.
Perfect.
And it's just I will watch Terry forever.
Yeah, of course.
So we were given an idea this week, a suggestion by Joe from At Odds with Wrestling, and we're going to take it for ourselves because we're greedy. And At Odds has enough stuff. So we're going to start doing a Terry Funk moment of the week here. We both love him.
Yeah.
And we'll play something, put something on social media, promos. There's enough promos to last us, I don't know,
a lifetime.
Forever. So we're gonna start doing that, just so that everybody can remember and or experience for the first time some fun Terry Funk stuff. Whether it be him slapping Paulie in the mouth for mentioning his daughters.
What do you call him? Dog breath?
Dog breath.
Oh, it's so good.
Or him making Lance Russell wildly uncomfortable. Or when he explains to you that when you have a War Games match, there's one thing that everybody knows what you need.
A pervert.
As the camera pans to Jerry Lawler. Get that camera out of here. So funny. So fucking funny, man. Terry's the best. We have a lot else to talk about. I think we've covered just about everything we needed to. But he's the best, and I love him, and he'll forever be my favorite. Nick Foley said that I don't think anyone will be able to fill Terry's shoes, and I really think that's true. I don't know a professional wrestler that's going to have the wherewithal or the ability to adapt and change and have a career that lasted from 1965 till 2017. So 50 years, whatever.
Yeah.
Remarkable.
Godspeed to the Funker, man.
Absolutely.
We love you.
The Double Cross Ranch in the sky.
Yeah, dude.
Seeing his horse again.
Oh, man. Yeah. But we love you. We love you, Terry.
So much. And I think he knew it. I think towards the end, he got enough praise and enough people loved him. I'm sure there's going to be tributes all week from every promotion. I would imagine every promotion in the world is going to have a Terry Funk thing because he's worked for most of them.
Yeah.
I'm sure All Japan's going to do something huge. New Japan probably will too. Yep. They've already put a statement.
Yeah.
But they'll probably take a photo in the ring and do all that kind of stuff. And, we'll see some guys who aren't on social media that'll be telling some stories, I'm sure. Stan and whoever, but
Steen popped back on Twitter yesterday just to put up a thing about Terry, you know?
Right.
But
he wrestled everybody.
Yeah.
And so he is most certainly your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler and belonging on anybody's Mount Rushmore, even though I don't think I put him on my Mount Rushmore those couple weeks ago. But
I don't think you did.
Maybe I did.
No, it wasn't a personal round.
It wasn't a personal. It was like affecting the business. And it's a little different. But he's just such an influential wrestler. And hopefully at Wembley we see some spinning toe holds.
I need some spinning toe holds. I need some spinning ladder spots.
Right, absolutely.
Because contrary to popular belief, it does not make you look like Homer Simpson.
It's true.
Because Terry Funk rules,
That's
bitch.
right. I can only imagine that Eddie Kingston's going to be wearing no less than 3 Terry Funk T-shirts to wrestle at Wembley.
That's the way it should be.
He's gonna be like Macho Man wearing 3 different outfits in the one-day tournament. He's just gonna have different Terry Funk attires every time that he's gonna tear off.
That makes me happy.
But he was the best, and it's sad. And wrestling is gonna be. I mean, it's weird because he wasn't in wrestling for how long? Wrestling's not gonna be the same without him.
But he was there.
That shadow looms large, and he is a true legend. A lot of people like to say that word, and he really was. Yeah. So Mick Foley said this. Google Terry Funk. Go to YouTube. Type in Terry Funk.
He said, "Spend your weekend.
Right.
Just get lost in it.
Close your eyes and pick something."
Yeah.
I guarantee you'll be entertained. Don't put anything by Hannibal on your TV because that guy sucks. Mm-hmm. And don't look on eBay where everybody's price gouging Terry Funk stuff. And magically, 150 listings and brand new 8x10 signs showed up.
The disgusting act.
But I guarantee you'll be entertained.
Yeah.
From at any point in Terry's career. So, and look for the real ECW stuff because some of the stuff isn't on Peacock, and I had a hard time finding Born to Be Wired yesterday, so I just had to dive into my own collection and find it.
I love it, man.
So, but it's all out there, and we'll be making suggestions from here going forward. So, Terry's the best.
Yep. Terry Funk forever.
Forever for real. I thought I was going to, I remembered I thought I had something saved on my phone to play during this.
Well, how about this? Maybe we'll take the extra effort to put in a sound clip or something right here.
Well, maybe I will.
Maybe we'll do that. But I guess we'll be back after this clip, I guess.
Sure.
声が聞こえてまいりました。
Where do we go from here? What are we doing?
I guess we'll just do.
What are we talking? Because we had a big week ourselves. It was the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows.
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
All
right. Let's I mean, it is the first thing we did after we recorded.
Yeah.
Basically.
Let's just. Okay. I don't have a select format for this week.
No.
I just think we're just kind of talking.
So we were at both All-Stars. What is it? All-Star
on my
Junior USA Festival 2023.
Yes.
He's wearing the shirt.
That's
and for the
that was on Saturday.
New Japan-esque. Everybody said New Japan, but it was whatever. It's a conglomeration. But that was Saturday at the 2300 Arena, and then we were back on Sunday for Impact New Japan crossover Multiverse United 2.
Yes.
So we watched 7 hours of wrestling live this past weekend.
Yeah, you're right.
I think the Impact show was 3 hours, and the New Japan one was around 3.5 or so. Mm-hmm. But lots of stuff. I don't have a rundown. Obviously, I'm not taking notes. I'm not some weirdo that sits in the back row with a notebook.
Oh my
god! But we can just talk about sort of the experience. If you watch the shows, I think the Super Junior show was better.
It was. I agree.
And I probably wasn't expecting that. We talked about us on the show here, like him and Han, about whether or not we were going to go. And when they announced Taguchi, of course, I signed up, bought those tickets.
Immediately.
And then they announced some real weird ones after Taguchi that I was like, I don't know that I would have done this.
Yeah, like Enzo Amore.
Like real one.
Boy, oh boy.
So, it was a lot of like scramble matches and tag team matches and stuff.
Pat's King of Cheesesteaks matches.
Right, they hung a bag of Pat's cheesesteaks above the ring for the...
And Doki is the king of the cheesesteak now.
Doki and Lowrider. It was a tag team match, apparently.
Doki is the king of the cheesesteak.
Did you know when we were watching it, did you know it was a tag team match?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, he's the one who obtained the bag.
Yes.
It's his.
But I was
That's not Lowrider's.
even after the match now, thinking back about it, I was like, wait, why is Lowrider celebrating too? I don't understand. Whatever. Goofy Japanese wrestling, whatever. Lowrider gets to help. Okay. But yeah, apparently they were a tag team.
They were.
Very weird because Lowrider stunk out loud and almost killed somebody.
Sure did.
So, but Doki wins the cheese. He is the Pat's cheesesteak winner.
Yeah, he's the king of the cheesesteak.
Right. But let's rewind a little bit. I guess we'll start from the beginning, like every good story should. We got to meet Tanahashi.
Redemption.
Yes.
We finally got to meet Hiroshi Tanahashi.
So they did the meet and greet not 2 hours before it was about to happen. We were not in Baltimore eating delicious crab cakes when they announced it, although would have been nice.
I would have liked to be in Baltimore eating delicious crab cakes.
But so we got to get in line to meet Tanahashi. We drove down. We were a little later than we thought, so we just skipped eating. We were going to partake in the Sloppy Joe special at the 2300.
Oh, God.
Which we didn't.
You know what's funny? I didn't see anybody eating those.
No, we're going to eat Sloppy Joes.
Like that, like
the wrestling crowd's already full of Sloppy Joes.
Yeah, like why are they...
Right.
Like, really? That was the selling point?
Right. What a disaster of an idea. But a loose meat sandwich at a wrestling show.
Loose meat.
But so we get in line, and we're 15 and 16 in the Tanahashi line. I walk up and wear my Taguchi shirt because, of course, I am. Because the theme of this night, especially, is Taguchi. We're getting two Gucci this weekend. Taguchi 2 nights. Because he's also on the Impact show. Shout out to Ryan Cerny for giving us the tickets for the Impact show again.
Yes, thank you.
That was awesome hooking us up. So we got to get 2 Gooched. Even though the Impact one, he was the first match in the pre-show and didn't get to do as much as he should have. But anyway,
but I digress.
Right. So I walk up and there's a guy in a Taguchi shirt that's not the same Taguchi shirt I'm wearing. It was a Taguchi shirt I don't own. I own 3 Taguchi shirts.
You might need to get a new one.
Might have to. But we immediately lock eyes and give each other the proper praise as members of or appreciators of Taguchi Japan. I don't know if he's a member of Taguchi USA.
I'm going to say no.
It's an exclusive club.
You have proof.
I do. I have proof. It's
on
my phone.
I didn't see his proof.
I didn't see his proof either. But so we wait in line. We get in. They do the pat down. We're waiting. All that sort of stuff. And Tanahashi comes in and looking great. We get the picture in front of the lion mark with him.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
And I walk up to him. And he points at my shirt and he says, "Oh, he is Taguchi." And he's like, "Finally, Taguchi." And I said, "That's my number one guy. That's the guy I'm here for. I love him so much." Because Tanahashi's a member of Taguchi Japan.
Sure is.
And I chickened out doing the guitar pose because he was doing the same pose with everybody. I was like, I'm not going to try and change anything up. I should have because somebody else did it later.
Yep.
But, and I shook his hand and just said it was an honor to meet him and whatever. You go up to him.
Yeah, him and I got probably the best sneaker picture of the weekend.
Yes.
His sneakers were popping. Mm-hmm. My Air Max 90s looked great.
Absolutely.
We're men of shoes.
Right. You both had your lifts in.
You son of a bitch. Oh, you know what's fucked up? So I went out to my sister's yesterday for dinner.
Yeah.
Tyler's taller than me now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No shit.
Because he's taller than me, and then I took my foot out of the shoe,
and
I dropped down, and they're like, "Oh my god!"
That's funny.
Yep.
Michelle got a new pair of shoes today, and they got lifts in them too. They don't actually, and she's like, "I'm so much taller." I'm like, "You're still short." Shut up.
Working, brother.
Right. Absolutely.
Listen, I had to look much bigger than the Japanese wrestlers.
Right. If Hulk Hogan can drop from 6'10" to 6'4" because of back surgery,
oh god, that made me choke.
But yeah, so we got to meet Tanahashi. Very nice little thing.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Lots of people in line. Very excited.
Fucking legend.
He's a legend. He's
got a real nice, dated 8x10 too, which I thought was
cool.
real nice.
Signed in silver, marker.
Yeah,
paint
very
pen.
cool.
Really cool thing from him there. Just an honor to meet a guy like that. It really is a legend and, one of the best ever to do it. Not on the show. He's on the Impact show the next night. But he did, I guess it was it before the meet and greet?
No, this is after.
After he does the cheesesteak spot.
Dude. So they show a video on social media kind of promoting the King or the Pat's cheesesteaks match. And so I saw the tweet later or I saw his later tweet first where he said, took a bite, felt my teeth, oh no. And I went, oh no, he broke his teeth again.
Right.
So then this video comes out of him and whoever, and he takes a bite out of the cheesesteak. And I go, oh no, he broke his teeth on a cheesesteak. Tanahashi officially did break his teeth on a cheesesteak.
Because that Pat's bread is tough.
Dude. Come on, Tanahashi.
Right?
I will. Does he need me to baby bird his food to him in the States?
Next time
I will
be
be
the US.
his personal food chewer.
Right,
okay?
absolutely.
I'll break my teeth. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll do that for Tanahashi.
Right. Because he did wrestle the next night with his teeth out.
Yeah, I have a really good picture zoomed in of his no teeth.
That's funny.
The last 2 times we saw him wrestle in America, he had no teeth.
No teeth. Yeah. But he has teeth in the picture with us.
Yeah, he does.
So that's
looking handsome as fuck.
He is looking great. Yeah, so that was really cool. And then we just sort of hung out, waited for the doors to open.
Yeah.
Got in. The merch wasn't great. You got the logo T-shirt.
Yeah, I love. I like getting because it's simple. It's a simple shirt.
Yeah,
thankfully.
And there was some people sort of out doing photos,
which we kind of were speculating. Okay, who maybe
Yes.
So the first person that we saw that was out was Ichiban Sweet Boy, Kosai Fujita.
Yes.
So we were kind of hemming and hawing over that one. But then you looked over and you go, oh, Dragon Kid.
Right.
And we were both like, oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So Dragon Kid came out. We both got our pictures with Dragon Kid. That was cool as shit.
That was awesome.
That's a fucking legend.
Absolutely.
Right there.
Unappreciated flippy guy. Like really, FMW referee. Wasn't trained by Onita because Onita felt he was too small.
Yeah.
And then goes to Torimon in 99. It's the first class. Gives Dragon Kid his Ultimo Dragon's protege. And is like one of the best sort of, lucha, flippy, whatever guys that he happens to be.
Yeah, so we got our picture with Dragon Kid. That was cool as shit.
Yes.
We're standing there and we're kind of thinking, fuck it. Let's get it. One with Fujita as well.
Yes.
So that was cool. He gave you a signed 8x10. He didn't give me one, son of a bitch.
Yeah, so I think he was just a little confused.
I think so, too.
To get one.
Yeah.
But so I walked up to him, and you went first, and then I walked up, and he also popped for my Taguchi shirt.
He did, yeah.
He was like, oh, Taguchi, and he did the Taguchi hand sign.
Oh, yeah.
And we got the picture, and then we were kind of just standing around, and I went to leave, and I looked back, he's like, do you want a picture? And I was like, yeah. And we went over, and he talked to us a little bit. It was his first time in America.
Yeah,
first time out of Japan.
Yeah.
And he was doing the 8x10s, and he had a scrap piece of paper because he was trying to learn how to write the American like the English alphabet,
which is all like incredible.
And so he was asking people's names so he could write them out on the 8x10. I'll have to post a picture of the 8x10, but I said to him, my name is DJ, and I have hard times with native English speakers understanding what I'm saying.
Sure.
Maybe I'm a little marbly mouthed, or it's just initials. It's people expect a vowel in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And so he sort of looked at me, and I said, it's just a D and a J. And he wrote D-N-J on this little piece of paper. And I was like, no N, just DJ, just those 2 letters. He goes, oh, okay. And he signed it, and he handed it to me. And I looked at it, and the J was backwards because I watched him write it on his piece of paper upside down, and my brain didn't process. And so the J, so it looks like it kind of says DL a little bit. But he was super nice.
Super cool.
Clearly just learning English, but like just to be that nice and also to sort of be that sort of forthcoming enough to be like, I'm trying to learn. Can you help?
I thought that
was really
that
cool.
was very big of him to do that.
It's a really great experience. And then we ended up seeing his first win. He wins this match.
Yeah, he gets the pin. Yeah.
And so the next night he was out again at the Impact show doing it. I just walked over and I shook his hand. I said, congratulations on your big win.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. It's your big first win yesterday outside of Japan. And he looked at me for a second and he was like, oh, win, I won.
Yeah.
So that was really cool.
Very cool.
He's going to be great. I think, I think he's got it.
I do agree.
He's another super talented guy that's just young. So I think he's going to do really well. attached with Zack Saber's a great thing.
Yes.
And TMDK. And
spent a lot of time with Robbie Eagles.
Yeah.
And his excursion is going to be a worldwide excursion.
Yes, right.
Which I think that's cool as shit.
Yeah, that's
good
really
for
cool.
him.
So that's cool. It's cool to see him. And Shun Skywalker came out later.
He was after the show.
He was after the show, but his little thing was up. We didn't meet him.
No.
But we kind of just we ate pizza and hot dog, whatever.
Yep.
And then sort of just went over to our seats, which were close to the ramp and the entrance stage. There's not really a bad seat in that place.
No, there's not.
The tickets are pricier than they should have been, and I think they know that now.
Yeah.
Like if I paid for front row, I'd be a little mad.
I would have been
I would have been a lot mad. But the show was very good. But Despy and Mao is a great tag team.
Yeah,
Despy saying he wants Mao in the Super Juniors next year.
Let's do it.
With Nick Wayne and Jordan Oliver, which is really cool. That's probably the best match of that night.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Right?
Yeah.
I think the most fun with that one, the most like sort of traditional best wrestling match was Nick Wayne and Jordan Oliver versus
Speedball Kevin Knight in the finals. That was good. That was good
for sure.
No doubt.
I like Kevin Smith working the injury, or Kevin Knight.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith. Kevin Knight working the injury from earlier in the night.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a fun show overall. I would have done the biggest disappointment for me wrestling wise, or really any wise, is the Dragon Kid, the scrumble. What the fuck's the matter with me?
Yeah, it was only like
scramble.
7 minutes.
It was only like 7 minutes, and like I feel like because the main event was very similar, maybe they sort of handcuffed those guys a little bit.
That Soberano was in that. Leo Rush was in that.
Right, and those 3 guys were very excited for being there.
Absolutely.
I was. And, like Dragon Kid's my number 2 reason for going. Soberano was like my number 3. Like, I really, in the Super Juniors last year, really liked Soberano.
He was awesome.
And they didn't get to do much. And, like, I don't know why. And if that was the case, I would have moved people like Lowrider out of the main and put Soberano there or Dragon Kid.
Reading some people's thoughts on the show, that seemed to be the biggest complaint across the board was, why was that match only 7 minutes?
You have arguably the best sort of lucha style, lucharisu for Dragon Kid, but like style wrestling in that match. Like Leo Rush versus Dragon Kid is like a dream match.
It's crazy.
And Soberano being a taller luchador to be base for these littler guys, you had glimpses of it, but like they didn't let them unleash completely.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
And like they let Casey Navarro get a lot. Ugh. And it's just not, and of course Rocky Romero's in the main event of the show that he fucking booked for no fucking reason. Mm-hmm. Whatever. My opinions on Rocky have changed a lot in the last week or 2.
I agree.
But the show is really good overall. But let's brass tacks it here, buddy. Let's talk about.
So, pal, our main event.
Yeah, let's talk about the reason why we went and the subsequent. I have a conspiracy theory that I'm gonna need debunked just because I don't know that my life ever goes that way on its own.
Dude, oh man, this really fucks with my theory now.
Yeah.
Because after the events that we will talk about, I said to you, this is the universe correcting itself.
Right.
From us not getting, from Juice Robinson's t-shirt getting taken away from you. I said, the universe just corrected itself.
Yes. Right. We got the Mi Tanahashi and a t-shirt. So chime in from your point of view, but we'll talk about this. So
do you want me to chime in from my point of view, or do you want a little taste of what happened?
Oh, well, you can play the taste. So we got to set it up first, though, right?
So number one thing, I feel like this has been a long time that we've been in a wrestling crowd that the people around us were
so
fucking
cool.
awesome.
We were in a great fucking section.
So probably the last time we were at like a cool wrestling show with like, it was like LVAC when like it's just us, or that Raw when it was like us, Joe and Adam.
Right.
That was it.
But this was just us with complete asshole strangers, and they were
everyone
cool.
was
Everyone was rad.
So fucking cool.
Right. We got there and
they knew
bigger guys.
They knew what was going on.
Right.
Yeah.
As I said to you, I said that the wrestling really needs to adjust the seats from every 18 inches to every 24. We gotta. The steel chair company's got to start expanding these out a little bit.
Yeah, let's go, people.
Let's seriously, let's expand these out. It's not an ass every 18 inches anymore. We're Americans. We're going up in size. It's got to be an ass every 24 inches now. But the people next to us, we were 2 seats in from the end, they immediately moved down. They're like, we don't want to be pinned in either.
Yeah.
They're like, this is why we get the end row.
Yeah.
And we moved, and everybody got to spread out and get some
Yeah.
room, which is real nice.
Yeah, dudes
'Cause I
behind
don't
us-
mind hugging up next to you.
No, of course
I don't
not.
want to hug up next to everybody.
No, like dudes behind us were super
Yeah,
cool.
super rad.
You know, just
Yeah.
enjoying the show.
Right. And, Taguchi was the reason why we bought tickets. I've tweeted at Taguchi a whole bunch. He saw my signs from the Ring of Honor show, which you know that sound there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I brought the same sign with me, and I said on Twitter, like, I'm bringing these signs again because I'm going to see Taguchi specifically. And he was in the third match, I think.
Yes.
Right? What was it? Him and...
It was the third match. So it was Taguchi, Master Wado,
Right.
and the DK. Oh, no, sorry.
Yeah.
No, so it was him, Rich Swann,
and
and the DKC.
versus Enzo...
Starboy Charlie, and Jack Cartwheel.
Right. And if you look on our Twitter, I did put out the video of, I think I put out, maybe I did, maybe it was in the Discord, of Enzo's response when they ran through at the beginning all the people who were going to be on the show.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah. Oh. So, anyway.
So
this is the sound of Taguchi's entrance, correct? Is that where we're starting?
So, I knew I had to capture this moment.
You're a historian, if nothing else.
Yeah, listen. I claim to be like, my friends have good reactions in crowds. I need to capture these.
Right.
As I told Adam for his broski scream. Now you twice. Now you are my intellectual property.
Okay.
I own you.
All right.
So if you want to use this video, you owe me.
Okay.
So yeah, this was the.
Yeah.
This was the Taguchi entrance.
Howard Dean, eat your heart out. Go ahead.
So let me break this down for you real easily.
Play by play.
So the entrance, I'm going to give it to you from my point of view. Taguchi comes out on the ramp. You're holding a sign up. That motherfucker immediately points at you.
Right. So just to set it up. So we're on, if you're facing the stage, we're on the left side. If you're looking at the ring, we're on the right side. But we're right next to the stage. We're 2 rows back up from the stage. But the backstage area, they have to walk up the ramp to get on the stage facing our section.
Yeah. So your sign's up.
The only sign in the building.
It was. He comes out, smile on his face. He's pointing right at you. He's like fist pumping at you, like, fuck yeah, dude. You're excited. Obviously, as you heard, the whole crowd's excited.
Right.
He starts walking down.
Taguchi was really over with this crowd.
Super over.
Yeah.
He starts walking down the ramp. He stops. He pops his top off.
Right.
He looks at you. The shirt goes flying through the air. And, like, it was just slow motion. I will put the video up.
Yeah.
But somebody tries to grab
Somebody
it
tries to,
first.
yeah, uh-huh.
To which I would have fought that person for you. I said, you sit. Hey, buddy. That's not happening.
Yeah. Taguchi's the coach, though. He had it arced. He knew.
You catch the shirt and just this pure joy energy. Because the thing is, the shirt's in the air, so you're standing directly behind me. I'm like trying to like arch back to see like it going over my head going, please catch it, please catch it.
Yeah.
And you caught that motherfucker and it was just like euphoria.
Right. Well, the crowd, the people around us erupted like everybody.
Dude, they were going nuts.
Right. Absolutely.
You obviously let out that primal scream.
My Howard Dean scream, yes.
And yeah, I have pictures of you absolutely cheesing, holding the shirt. You were shaking.
I was shaking. Literally, my hands were shaking.
Yes.
Yes.
I knew Joe was out with Pokemon, and I was like, I gotta send this to Joe because he's got to see it. I sent it to Doug. Everybody's so fucking happy.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, you and Taguchi.
Yeah. So
part one.
Right. So yeah. So I brought the sign. The one side's the big match Taguchi, and the other side's the Funky Weapon. And you know, he liked my tweets and you know whatever. And again, I'm not making this up. Like, he's the reason why I bought a ticket. Like, we've said this forever. Like, if he wasn't getting announced, I wouldn't have bought a ticket.
So we're going to kick it back a little bit. So when he got announced for Ring of Honor's Death Before Dishonor,
That we bought that ticket that afternoon.
literally that afternoon.
Yeah.
And I kept saying to you, I have a feeling he's going to be on the junior show, but he wasn't announced at that point. I'm going, it's a hunch.
Right.
I had a feeling. And when it happened, literally that night when I showed you the picture of him being announced, you're like, okay, let's go. We got to buy tickets.
Absolutely.
So yeah, Taguchi, like during the match, man, he's super fucking
Super over.
Funky weapon chants everywhere. Oh, it was so
doing the hip wiggle.
Cool.
Enzo gets like booed on his entrance and then just nothing. So I went back and watched, and his fucking promo, he's talking and he's like, somebody starts chanting Bullet Club, and he goes, Bullet Club? More like Blunt Club, because it's 20 guys in the back swapping saliva. And I'm like, and like people, there's just no reaction at that point. And like some people said like boo him, but some people were saying don't boo him because that might be misinterpreted as a reaction. Just let him walk out there to silence. And like he gets nothing. He looks like dog shit in the match. His promo, he stumbles all over his fucking promo.
Yeah, he's still using the line of he is Smack Talker Skywalker,
right? Which
and he has a Mike Saber for a hater,
right? Which and then he rhymes Mike Saber with lightsaber.
Yeah,
like it's insane. It's so bad and like so hacky. And he looks like crap in the match, and he gets wounded by the crowd reaction at this point.
Yeah.
But so Taguchi super over. He comes out like you recounted it. From my point of view, I see him. I'm smiling. He's pointing at me. Like, give me the fist bump. I'm like, this is the coolest thing. I'm like, Taguchi has recognized that I'm here
for him
and that I have my sign. Like, that's all I want. Like, this is Taguchi. And I said, like, I tweeted, like, joking, like, who would have to pay? I said it to the guy.
You said it to Tanahashi.
Yeah.
You said it to the guy who was doing the meet and greet, taking the money.
Yeah.
You said it to Fujita.
I did. I said to the guy taking the meet and greet money, I said, if I slip you $20, can you get Taguchi out here?
Yeah.
Like, so. But like just that he acknowledged me, he was like, this is awesome. Like, that's my dude. I legit love him.
Yeah.
And like, I was like, just excited that I got like the fist bump, and like everybody around was super pumped, like that, like, it
was cool.
And like, just excited that like, I was excited for Taguchi,
Yeah.
and like, he was so over.
And like, got everybody else excited for Taguchi,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Yeah. So I got the shirt. It doesn't fit me. So shockingly, me and Taguchi aren't the same size.
I love that you tried it on.
I did, but very briefly, because I don't want to take the sniffs out of it.
I am the only person who has that picture. It's
true.
If you would like said picture, please slide into my DMs. It will cost you a fee.
Yeah. But it's a King of Strange style shirt, not for sale. They didn't have any Taguchi stuff for sale. But I like, just like the moment, like slow motion, like Sandlot, like the end of Rudy, I don't know, whatever.
What was that Chariots of Fire?
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. I was like, ah. Yes. So I was just super pumped. Like, I got that shirt and like literally my hands were trembling and I was just so happy.
You were shaking.
And like we talked about my last time, like Juice didn't give me that shirt last time, but it was rightfully fucking mine. But nobody was stopping this one. And he did give he also had a scarf, like a towel with him that he gave to the other guy in a Taguchi shirt. So he was very aware that there were Taguchi fans there. So the other guy
tipped him off.
Yeah, the other guy got the guy I saw online earlier got the towel, which is super cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's not a worn t-shirt.
But it's still
really cool.
Yeah.
So, and I'm gonna frame that fucker up, and like that's
I'm honestly shocked you haven't already.
I know. I was looking up frames. I got to figure out how I want to do it.
Very surprised.
But so his match is great. He's super over. And it was like third match on the card. We watched the rest of the show. It's a fun time.
Yeah.
Our section's rocking. There was the one fucking idiot drunk crowd comedian guy who was like, not even crowd
he
comedian,
wasn't even
but like
he wasn't in our
whatever.
section.
Yeah.
But like he was saying shit.
Yeah.
And even at one point Speedball kind of looked at him like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and he was like, this is just an indie. And I saw him in the bathroom and he was like complaining about the show. He was just fucking loaded.
Yeah. He kept yelling, mullet power.
Yeah, right.
Use your mullet.
But I will say that during the Enzo match, it got real quiet and he did a move in the corner and I just yelled, how the fuck did you get worse? And like everybody was like, holy shit. And I think it was loud enough for him to hear me. But people were like, that's a really good question. Like he is actively worse than he was.
Yeah.
So I hope, that New Japan tryout worked out for you.
Yeah.
You piece of shit.
So end of the show happens.
Yes.
All the participants come out to the center of the ring.
They're going to sign the mat.
Yeah, sign the mat, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So you and I we scurried to the back row,
Yeah, we're only one row back, but I'm like, well, Taguchi's out. I'm just going to hang out on the rail because everybody sort of left.
Just in case.
Right, not everybody. A lot of people hanging out, but the back row sort of emptied.
Taguchi comes walking up the ramp. We didn't even have to yell for him or nothing. He comes right over to us. Yeah. He like
there's little steps on that side, so he came over.
He thanks you, like gives a handshake. And I was like, I gotta get a picture. Here we go.
Yeah.
So I took a picture of you guys. You took a picture of me and Taguchi, which was fucking awesome. He just like thanked us.
Yeah, he didn't do it for anybody else.
No, it was just us two.
He came over, smile on his face, wearing his Taguchi Japan shirt, a different one. And I just shook his hand, and I was just like, thank you. He's like, thank you. And I said, no, thank you. And I bowed to him a little bit. I was just so nervous. And I was like, you're literally like my favorite wrestler. Like, you're why I'm here. Yeah. Like, I don't know how much he understands. I imagine a little bit, but I'm like, and like, he sort of gave me a look like he didn't believe, but like,
I know, right?
He's for real the reason why I was there. And like, I just was so fucking excited that he came over.
Yeah.
Just to see us. Like, he just came over to be appreciative.
Yeah, which was awesome.
That, that we're the fandom, because like I imagine he kind of wasn't so sure.
Yeah, and we talked about this on the ride home a little bit. A guy like him, and we've been saying for years, like, oh man, like when Taguchi comes over here, it's gonna be so fucking cool.
Yep.
And we gotta go see him.
Yeah.
And then shows happen, and you go, I don't know if he's gonna come over here.
He's not. You question his appeal here. He's mostly at this point a comedy wrestler. He's a very good wrestler, but he's mostly a comedy wrestler. Yeah. He's a junior. Like, there's just not a ton of necessary places for him right now in the overall landscape.
And it definitely showed the difference between him at Death Before Dishonor.
Yeah,
where, like, nobody gave a shit,
right?
Except for you and I.
Yes.
And then he comes here. And like a lot of people cared about him on the show, which was that has to make them feel good.
Absolutely.
To know like, oh wow, I do have like fans over here.
Yeah.
And we talked about it. It reminds me of that classic Ketsukubashi story, coming over to work Joe in Ring of Honor, and him saying, "Oh, I don't think anybody's gonna know me."
Yeah.
And Joe just having to reassure him, "Trust me, they know who you are."
Yes.
And him coming through that entrance and just being blown away, you know?
And even in his role in New Japan, he's training these young guys. Like, he's sort of the steward for the New Japan, for the juniors.
Which is awesome.
And, like, so, he understands his role. He's not winning a ton of matches. He's, he's just doing what he can and
he's consistently the funniest wrestler over there.
Yeah. He's
go.
A brilliant comedy wrestler who can fucking go.
Yeah.
And we've said this before, like, he's the guy that, like, Finn Balor needs to cut his teeth over here. All right, you go with Taguchi.
Yeah.
Oh, Viking Raiders are here for the first time. You guys go with Taguchi. Master Wato, you're under Taguchi's, tutelage. Ricochet, you're over here. You're teaming with Taguchi. Like, because fundamentally, he is an incredibly sound wrestler who absolutely knows how to connect with a crowd and get over.
Yeah. So we got the pictures with him. Yes. You fell to the floor afterwards.
I did. Fell to my knees. I said if I saw him, we're not worthy him.
Yeah.
But the guardrail was in my way, but I fell on my knees afterwards because, God damn it, I was so happy.
The dudes that were behind us, they said they were like, they came over to us.
Yeah.
So fucking happy.
That was the coolest thing ever. I can't believe he came over.
Yeah, like, yo, you guys got to, like, that was so cool that he came over to you guys.
And, like, nobody, like, lined up to be like, yo, can I get a picture? Can I get a picture?
Yeah, they were just kind of let
the moment happen. Right.
And they said, we were scrambling to try to find a marker to see if we could sign your sign for you or something. Right. I was like, yo, you guys are fucking
they were
cool.
just super cool.
It was awesome.
Right. And, like, I kept saying to you, like, maybe they think he knows me because, like, we connected. Like, I for real felt like me and Taguchi, like, we locked eyes when he came up that ramp, and we just had a moment. And it was just super cool.
Yeah.
It was super cool.
I told you when I got a little misty-eyed when that happens.
My guy.
Because I was like, this is so fucking cool to be happening right now.
Yeah.
And it was just, oh, man.
Yeah.
What a cool experience.
Right, absolutely. I was thinking about today, or maybe yesterday, about, like, we have photos with, like, our top New Japan guys, like outside of Okada, obviously we're in Philly.
Yeah.
Okada ain't working
Philly. Work Philly, brother.
But like getting Tana and Taguchi, we both have Ishii. I have Goto. We have Sonata.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's really crazy.
It's fucking kill for an Okada picture.
Yeah, I don't know that would ever happen.
Somebody please
maybe
make
when
this happen.
Maybe when he's in his 40s, he's an older man and he comes over here. But
I need it.
But yeah, like I was just like, how fucking lucky are we?
Yeah.
And here's the thing about the Taguchi thing. So I got the shirt. He came over to meet me, and I was like, my life doesn't tend to work that way. as shown by the fact that I got to meet my favorite wrestler, one of my favorite New Japan wrestlers, on a Saturday, and then by Wednesday, my favorite wrestler of all time passes away.
Yeah.
And not
Universe corrected itself on that one.
Not that it has anything to do with me, but it's funny.
Yeah.
But like my luck doesn't normally work that way, right? And I I'm like, oh, did I like bother him that much that he wanted to get me out of here, like just so I didn't stop bothering him? Because I did tweet at him a bunch. Because I genuinely love Taguchi. Sure. And so I was like, I don't know. And then like my brain runs wild because that's what it does. And and this is the funniest thing. And I'm pretty sure it's nonsense. If it's not, I don't know if I even want to know. But like part of me was like, did Joe get in touch with Riccaboni to tell Rick, because Riccaboni made that tweet about Taguchi earlier in the day. And I was like, did Joe get in touch with Riccaboni? And did Riccaboni tell Taguchi to get out there and look for the guy with the sign or whatever? And I'm like, no, it's complete bullshit. Like it just happened to be that
scenarios in my head. I do that from time to time.
But I was like, it just happened to be that I'm like a legit giant fan of this guy, and he probably just wasn't expecting it, and showed his appreciation. Yeah. And I think that's what it is. And like I could not be happier for it to have happened. And for real, like that is a dude. Like Ishii and Taguchi are my two New Japan guys. And not that I don't love Naito and Okada and all those guys, but like those are my guys, and I attached to those guys very early in our New Japan fandom.
Yeah, man.
Like in our reignited New Japan fandom, and so just the fact that like we really shared a moment. It's really wild. It's still a little unbelievable.
It was fucking awesome.
And the next best thing outside of the entire Taguchi experience is seeing Enzo Amore walk out down the ramp to the group photo afterwards, and Rich Swann behind him, pointing at him behind his back, going, "Boo this man!" And then he gets in the ring and he's trying to be all cool, and nobody reacts. No. And then he's eating a cheesesteak as he's leaving.
Yeah, with his middle finger up in the air.
And nobody cared. Shit.
Nobody,
and he's flipping off the crowd.
Yeah, nobody even looked
trying
at
to get a reaction. Yep. And he's in like street clothes, and he's just fucking miserable.
Shirt, which is weird.
Fucking miserable. Yeah. And he walks back up the ramp to nothing.
Nobody booed. Nobody yelled anything.
Nothing.
Nobody gave a shit.
I was like, thank you. He looked so fucking miserable. Like he was wounded that day, and it could not happen to a better fucking guy.
Made me very happy.
Very, very happy. Second best thing to happen that whole night is watching Enzo Amore's hopes and dreams get fucking crushed.
Yeah. So that was Saturday.
That was Saturday.
Yeah. We ended with a Geno's and Insomnia
Cookie. Yeah, what a wild night.
Yeah.
I came home and I was like, don't even fucking look at me because we cannot. No. Nothing can happen.
Nope.
I can't be on this high of a high.
No.
Because my world will come crashing down around me.
Well,
So.
So Sunday, we made our way down for the Impact show.
Yes.
We hit Tony Luke's. It's fucking Tony Luke's.
Tony Luke's.
We hit Tony Luke's beforehand because
it's delicious.
Stop 2 of the cheesesteak tour.
Right.
We go into the show. Wild that there was a better New Japan merch selection at this show than there was at the junior show.
They were selling an autographed United Empire shirt at this show for like $500.
I'm kind of bummed I didn't sprint for that IWGP pin set.
Oh, yeah?
I'm not like a pin guy at all.
Yeah.
But I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
They had a bunch of signed 8x10s. Mm-hmm. They had a Stardom shirt, which I bought.
They did.
And a Just Five Guys shirt, which you bought.
Shirt, right.
They didn't have anything before. It was kind of weird.
And all the same people were on the fucking show, so it's very weird.
Very odd.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were hanging out for a while. Mm-hmm. Fujita was out there again signing. Nobody else was out there at that point.
No, I don't think so.
When we got...
we forget you got Bushi on the way out on Saturday.
That's right. Yeah, I got Bushi.
The X's with Bushi.
Yeah, me and Bushi tossed up the X.
Yeah.
Dude, you want $10?
Right,
I was like, fuck it, man. Why not?
Right.
But we forgot when we got into the Impact show.
Yeah.
Impact did have, 4 or 5 people out front to get autographs?
Yeah.
It was like Alex Shelley.
Mm-hmm. He complimented my Alex Wright shirt. I was looking for the prices. He was like, I like your Alex Wright shirt.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be like, I like you, Alex Shelley. Or I like your Paparazzi Productions, Alex Shelley.
Yeah.
But instead I went, yeah, Alex Wright's cool.
You did. Yeah.
He's underrated guy. Because I'm a big Alex Shelley fan, but
huge.
That line was too long for me.
It was way too fucking long.
Good for them, but I wasn't waiting in that fucking line.
It was like, him, Josh Alexander, Chris Bay, and Ace Austin were out?
Yeah.
which that's what you fucking should do at these shows, man.
Right, and especially for the New Japan show, like we were locked in the bar area, which is a big area.
Yeah.
But like they didn't have anybody out on that stage. And like the first time we were at New Japan, Lance Archer was out there.
Yeah.
And we didn't do that. We should have got our fucking picture with Lance Archer that day.
Well, you got yours eventually.
That's true, I did.
When you made him look like a fucking pipsqueak.
Right, I ruined it.
Yeah.
I really good.
Kayfabe, brother.
Yeah. Could have at least stood on the stage at another time.
So we're hanging out, waiting for the show to start. We knew, Taguchi's the first match, so we gotta be.
We gotta be there, right?
I think Taguchi might have been a little hungover.
I think so too,
because he was up drinking at 3-4 o'clock in the morning.
He found a craft beer store. He was eating pork sandwiches and drinking craft beer in his hotel room.
He might have been a little.
That's true. He could have partied a little bit.
Yeah,
eating Italian ices all day with Master Wato. He lived it up in America.
I loved it, man. So I'll say this right now.
And he went to Tony Luke's the day right before that show.
Yeah.
So
the people we were around for this show
sucked ass, dude.
This might have been like, I don't know if it might have been all-time worst.
No, it's not. You didn't have to fist fight anybody at a wrestling show or threaten to. You didn't have to threaten to beat up a father in front of his child for being an asshole at a wrestling show. These people were just annoying.
That's true.
Nobody got threatened to get pounded into the ground.
I wasn't on the verge of physical violence here.
You didn't have to nail anybody into the ground like a railroad spike.
Yeah, man. Oh god, that was like concurrent too. I remember Chuck was like, dude, why do you like get into fights everywhere at these shows? I'm like, I'm not doing it.
Right.
I was like, they're the ones doing it, not me. I have a short fuse. And like the one guy.
You're not starting the fight, but you'll end it.
The one guy at the Barclays Center where I told him when he had a problem, I was like, let's go in the fucking bathroom. I'll beat the shit out of you. Yeah. So, and then that fucking piece of shit in DC, and that guy asshole at Wilkes-Barre.
Yep.
Even in a fucking hockey game once at Wilkes-Barre, I got into it with somebody.
Yeah.
Because I was celebrating that the guy from the Penguins got knocked out cold with one shot. I was fucking hooting and hollering. And the guy's like, let's not be assholes, guys. And I turned around and said, you're in an Edmonton Oilers shirt. Who's the real fucking asshole? Anyway.
I love you.
So,
I love that you're like that. I love that you're my heater.
Yeah, I try. Dude, hockey games, I used to get real pissed off. I remember one time the Phantoms, which were the Flyers, like AHL team.
Yeah.
They're playing, and they scored a goal on the Penguins up here, and I wear my Phantom shit, and I'm happy. I'm not a dick, but I'm excited. And this fucking loudmouth was like, all these fake Phantoms fans all around here. And I told him to shut the fuck up or I'd beat the shit out of them. Yeah. So, anyway, enough of me being a dick.
Yeah, well.
The people around us, I wanted to unalive myself.
Right. So, like,
multiple times.
So thankfully, most of our row never showed up.
Yeah.
A lot of people returned in tickets, got refunds. That was sort of the follow-up from last week's episode. People did get refunds for Enzo being booked.
Yeah.
But our row sort of didn't really fill out.
Yeah.
The girl who was sitting next to me moved up a whole bunch at one point.
A lot of people moved up.
Yeah.
We could have if we wanted.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. I'm good. And we moved the seats down a little bit. But, like, the people behind us, there's that dude who was telling everyone that he was the only journalist on the East Coast covering the show, writing in his notebook. He had his custom title belt that he would hold up in everybody's face when they came out. Because we were on the opposite side of the ramp. Yeah. Closer to the ramp this time.
My favorite was he had... Like, the Bullet Club came out.
Yeah.
And he had a bootleg Wrestle Kingdom Blu-ray that he's holding it up.
I had to crop it out of photos.
I was like, what is this guy fucking doing?
Right. Yeah.
Like, what is that?
Right. It's super weird.
He had like a weird, like a homemade New Japan World.com shirt with like weird faded pictures all over it. I was like, oh man.
And I swear we've seen him at shows before.
Maybe.
But he also did the thing that is like the biggest pet peeve for us is running commentary.
Dude, I can't
and like trying to inform everyone around him about the history of everybody, and most of which he's wrong about.
Yeah, it was incorrect. Like when What's-His-Face did Nakamura's move, and you're like, yeah, Nakamura's move, the Rainmaker.
The Rainmaker, right.
I was fucking done when you said that.
Right.
Why did he do that?
I don't know.
This guy
You know why, I just won't repeat it on there.
Well, that's between you and I, sir.
Sure is.
That's in one of the top 3 laughs I've ever had. This motherfucker. Some of the gems that were dropped was... should have put a little more syrup on that flapjack. And should have put a little more sauce on those wings.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this guy
real
doing?
Dumb. Real dumb.
Between that dude and the fucking lady behind us going crazy for Julia.
Yeah.
Listen, I was excited to see Julia.
Uh-huh.
That was like one of the main reasons why I was very happy.
And
we were
probably the best match on that show.
there. Yeah, and you were like super pumped for Julia.
For sure.
You know,
it was awesome to see her.
But this fucking lady.
You got a really good picture of Julia. That was really cool.
I love it.
Yeah.
This lady behind us was like, I don't know. It was like weird, like hyping Julia up when you didn't need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, the GOAT has arrived in the United States.
Yeah.
She is here. Julia!
Yeah.
It's like,
very weird.
Jesus Christ, my fucking
And of
ears.
course, I'm a man yelling about Taguchi, but like also, you know,
That's
it's like,
okay.
But we do the crowd cheering, like it's a little different. These people were giving running commentary.
Yeah.
It's like, and just like when the match happens, they're not chanting, they're not following the match.
No.
They're just telling people things.
Yeah,
It's
very-
it's a very bizarre thing that a lot of wrestling fans
yeah.
do.
Yeah, it was very weird.
But yeah, and the crowd is annoying, but it's fine. The biggest issue I think for us in that crowd is that like we're not Impact people.
No.
Because
Ed's an Impact guy. If Ed was there, he would have been
Ed
like
would
in the
have
zone.
been Ed would have been annoyed by everybody, but that's all right.
He would have been
We would
annoyed.
have been defending Ed from a bunch of people probably. But like when Moose comes out, the entire place, Moose.
Yeah.
Moose.
And you and I are
Moose,
just sitting down
Moose,
like, no, this
Moose.
guy's fucking
And I'm like,
sucks.
nah, this dude blows. Like they actively cheered for the worst wrestler
Yeah.
in every match.
And like they loved Sammy Callahan.
Right. Loved giant fat baby Sammy Callahan, who made it like a Philly street fight against Doki.
Yeah.
But like they actively, every bad wrestler, if you looked at the lineup of the matches, maybe except for Julia, they were like actively rooted for the worst person in every match.
Yeah, very weird.
Very weird.
I think that like kind of took us out of the show too is Impact's people were all winning the matches.
Yes.
Like, what? Wait a
Right.
minute, what's going on here?
So that's the other thing too. You're right. It is a split show. The main event is Impact champion Alex Shelley versus Tanahashi. We know that Alex Shelley's winning that one.
match was very
It was a
good.
very good match,
Yeah.
right? But like it's two pre-show matches, and Julie is the first New Japan quote unquote person to win,
Non-Impact person. to win the
non-Impact to
match.
win, and she's New Japan Strong Women's Champion, so technically New Japan,
Sure.
but she's a starting worker. But like there was 4 or 5 matches before that no New Japan people won, and I'm like, I thought this was supposed to be like a crossover. thing.
Yeah. And
Like,
Impact
what-
was just putting all their people
Right.
over.
I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Very weird.
And then we get the, I think one other match had the only actual New Japan person to win, maybe?
Well, then, if you remember,
Well, Kevin Knight. Oh, that was the
Knight
night
didn't win
before.
that.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah.
that Scrabble match,
Right.
Didn't Kazarian win it?
I don't remember.
I don't either.
Here, hold on. Let me-
But the only like matches New Japan people were winning were the matches against each other.
Yes.
Like it was Fujita and Robbie Eagles against Catch 22.
right. So you had no choice.
No choice there.
Yes.
There was another match too. Oh, it was Bullet Club against like Josh Alexander, ELP,
right.
the Tongans. You know, so it's like,
Yes.
so this is basically New Japan versus New Japan here, and Bullet Club won that.
Yeah. Here, let's see. We're looking at scramble match. Chris Sabin wins.
Okay, well, I'm not mad at that. I love Chris Sabin.
Eddie Edwards and Moose beat TMDK.
Yep,
Julia wins that match. Sammy Callahan beats Doki.
yep.
Doki. Catch 22 beats TMDK. Bullet Club defeats the Gorillas of Destiny, Josh Alexander, PCO, and the DKC. And that's essentially New Japan.
Yeah.
But it's also New Japan versus New Japan in a lot of ways. Leo Rush and Trade Miguel beat Hiromu and Mike Bailey, which is a New Japan match. And then Alex Shelley beats Tanahashi, which we knew was going to happen.
They did announce for one of those destruction shows coming up. It is going to be Speedball Hiromu and Leo.
It's a three-way. Yeah, that's going to be really good.
Awesome.
That's going to be really good. And that tag match, Leo Rush and Trey Miguel
That was
versus
probably-
Takahashi and Bailey was really good.
That might have been the best.
That might have been the best match, yeah.
But no,
Sorry,
the
so
Julia.
we lied to you, Giselle. That's all right.
But no, I thought that match was very good too.
I lie to pretty people all the time.
That's why you're never truthful with me.
It's true.
So yeah,
I mean, false.
so yeah, the show was, you know, I don't know if we got fatigue a little bit.
I think probably. Well, so we were literally the highest of the highs the night before.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, you just can't compare. And we don't watch Impact. And there's enough people on the show that are problematic assholes. And I'm like, I'm not. It doesn't. Moose can have a 9-star match. And we're like, nah, not happening.
Not going to give a shit.
Right. And so, and like, I don't know. Like, there's just enough people on here that I don't give a shit about. But it was cool seeing Momo.
Momo
Kogo. The real Momo, Ed. So that was cool, and Momo got a good reaction.
Yeah.
And we got what we paid for at the Impact show.
Yeah.
But it was really cool to see Julia. But yeah, it's just not our crowd.
No,
The
not
crowd
our
the
thing.
night before, and plus the crowd the night before was so cool that almost any crowd was going to pale in comparison.
Yeah. So we're leaving. There's people taking some pictures.
Yeah.
There was Fujita's out there again. Mao was out there again.
Yeah.
And Despy was out there, which I'm kind of regretting not doing.
Yeah.
I was on the fence, and I said to you, I'm like, I think I spent too much money on
Spent a
wrestling
lot
this
of money.
weekend.
Yeah. Faye Jackson was floating around too, which was funny.
EOP
good.
was like, but he wasn't taking pictures. I don't think
he was talking to some ladies.
Rizzads.
Yeah. The ELP was setting up his night. Is what ELP was doing.
So we're leaving. We're talking to Matt Turner.
Right. Yes, Matt Turner. I'll use his gimmick name.
Yeah.
Good to see Matt Turner. I haven't seen him in a long time.
Yeah,
That's an old friend
Stardom
of the
cast.
Stardom cast. He was there to see Julia.
Yeah.
Got to catch up with him a little bit.
Yeah, that was cool.
Good to see him. I saw him when we walked in, and then we were going to go to the bar and get a drink, and then we just never managed to cross some paths again. But good to see Matt Turner, an old friend, the champ in my heart forever back in the day.
Yeah.
But it was good to see him, knowing that he's doing well, and everything's worked out. So
yeah, it was nice talking to him.
He's a good guy.
We were in line because you're looking at prices for Impact stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm gonna get a picture with Giselle Shaw.
Right. Giselle Shaw. Gianna Perazzo was out.
And Giselle
Shaw. And I like Giselle Shaw.
Yeah.
She's a babe.
I was like, all right, cool, man. I was like, I'll take the picture for you. And then we're walking over, and just I don't know if it was like a security guy or whatever. It was just like, I'll take the picture if you want in. I was like, all right, fuck it, why not?
Right.
So we both got a picture with Giselle Shaw.
Yeah. She was so nice, dude.
Super fucking
super nice. Wait, super friendly. Like she was just promoting the next shows, but made it seem like she was talking to us personally. Really well done.
Very well trained. And she will be listening to Hayabusa.
Yeah. Well,
in which new episode dropped.
Apparently.
Episode 4 is out right now in the world. So Giselle Shaw.
There you go.
Come through on your promise for young Ed.
But yeah, and it was just like I guess a little greasy on me, but I was just like, I just think she's really hot. I want to take a picture with her. And then it ended up looking like a kidnapping.
Yeah. I know when Joe saw it, he gave the wide-eyed emoji.
A very small lady, yeah.
He was like, this is the last picture of her known.
Yeah, she was like, you guys coming to this show and whatever. And
she's like, we'll be in White Plains, New York. And I was like, okay.
Cool. Said, what's the best show? And you were like, your best match, like yours. And she's like, oh, thank you. And, maybe in retrospect, not the answer, but it was still a very good match.
Yeah.
Second best at the show, probably.
I know.
Third.
I wanted to just be like, Julia was good.
Yeah, right. Right. You're good because Julia was here.
Julia's here.
Because she did have that botch in her match. Right. But this shit happens. It wasn't that big of a deal. She hurt herself more than anybody else.
For sure.
And the crowd forgave her pretty quick.
Yeah.
But I do like Giselle Shaw a lot. So.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that was our cool wrestling weekend.
Then we went for Pat's
we ended with
cheesesteaks
Pat's, didn't break our teeth.
Right.
Maybe Tanahashi, he just has like weak teeth.
I don't know. Maybe dental work in Japan isn't as good as it's supposed to be.
It's true. Maybe he needs to get in the chair in April. Needs to have a little look around in there.
I'm telling you, the thing about between Pat's and Geno's and Tony Luke's and stuff is like they're all good, but like Pat's bread's tougher. And it's just got a little bit more like there's a little tear to it. Like it's not as easy to bite through. You got to kind of rip a Pat's bread.
Well, Pat's meat's probably the best.
No, I don't like Pat's meats at all.
No,
it's too gristly.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Geno's all the way.
What about the cheese?
Geno's has better cheese.
Then why did we eat Pat's again?
What? We ate Pat's once.
Yeah, why did we just go to Geno's again?
Oh, well, because I wanted to hit all three.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I wanted to hit everybody.
All right.
I my definitive ranking still sits.
You didn't go to Alessandro's.
You didn't go to Alessandro's. You should have went to...
Yeah, you should have went to Joe's House.
Yeah, you should have went to Joey Boombot Steak Place. That's the best one.
Fuckers.
No, I wanted to... I like to do... I like
the
them
tour.
all.
I like the tour.
I like doing the tour because I do like them all.
Yeah. It was a good tour.
But and there's the nice piece of my heart walking into Geno's and realizing that it's that old fucker's dead.
Yep.
And that it's all mostly non-white people
now
running it now.
Delicious steaks.
Right. Yeah.
With your hot sauce.
They're hot. And that's the thing. Like Geno's has, I think, the best whiz. But that hot sauce sets Geno's It's just so fucking good.
Puts a pounding on it.
Yeah. And same thing, Tony Luke's is my number 2.
Tony Luke's gives you free pickles.
Tony Luke's is my favorite, like, location to go to.
Yeah, we say, like, that's a cool sit-down.
Like, it's the coolest place to just go and be, mainly because the ECW Arena used to be right around the corner. Now the 2300 Arena is there. It's not the same fucking thing. We can do a whole episode about whether or not that's the same fucking thing.
We sure could.
Not. And also, I need to get Joe Sposo to the 2300 Arena so he can give me the layout, because I can't picture it anymore.
So with all that said, man, listen, AEW happened.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to go through step by step like we normally do at this point.
I'm fine with that.
I'll just say Rampage, Phoenix, and Commander.
The only thing on the show worth watching.
Fucking
It was
awesome, though.
It was awesome.
That was like such a good lucha match, and I was so into it. Collision, probably like the standout thing for me was Darby Allin versus Christian Cage.
Yeah.
I thought that match
ruled.
ass.
Absolutely. That match ruled.
Especially because earlier that day, I watched Edge versus Sheamus from SmackDown, and it was really good.
Yeah.
And then
we didn't talk about Edge at all.
Yeah.
When is he showing up?
Yeah, I mean, that's the hot rumor right now. He did put out that video today where he's like, no, the contract extension for WWE's in my inbox. He's like, I just don't know what to do.
Right.
He goes, I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I was like, is he working? Yeah, who knows? But he's just like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought Christian versus Darby Allin was fucking awesome.
Yes.
It was cool seeing Kevin Koo on Collision. He got a nice
That was
reaction.
cool. It was cool to get Dalton Castle in an actual match.
Yeah.
I'm a big Dalton Castle guy.
Bullet Club Gold is
so that's
much fun.
The Guns forcing Tony Schiavone to do the hand signal during the interview, and when Juice just grabs his hand and like caresses it at the end is fucking amazing.
So when during Jay White and Dalton Castle, when the boys are running around and Juice Robinson jumps up on the apron and gets up on the ropes and just screams, "I'll kill you!" Yeah. I lost it.
Yep.
Did you see the clip in the crowd where somebody has a sign that says, "I named my fish like Juice Robin Swim"?
No.
So they were holding it up and somebody was filming. And one of the Guns comes walking by and he looks at it. He cracks up.
Yeah.
He walks over. He grabs the sign. He's like, "Juice, Juice!" And he's like pointing over. He brings the sign back and he's like, "I was gonna rip that shit up." And he starts laughing. And then Juice comes over and he picks up the sign. He takes like a picture or whatever. And he's smiling and he has a 1 gold tooth now on his bottom row. And he goes, "Look at my gold tooth!" And he walks away and he goes, "Put that on the internet for me."
That's funny.
So that made me real happy. Bullet Club Gold fucking rocks.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll tell you what, man. Willow Diamante was very good too.
Yeah, I liked it. I did.
What did you think about the Golden Vampire?
I mean, the Golden Vampire looked like garbage.
Poor Golden Vampire.
Yeah. So what I said online, I said, even CM Punk's disguise has a big fucking mouth on it.
How dare you? 45 years old picking up a 300-pound man on your shoulders. I don't know, brother.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else you want to talk about from Collision?
Yeah, I liked the Iron Savages. I don't like the Iron Savages, but I liked that they said sipping sauce and living hoss.
I thought you were going to say you liked when he said ass boy. I'm the real ass boy because I'm going to...
No, that's my next note.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Bronson threatened to eat Austin Gunn's ass.
Yes, he did. He's going to eat Austin Gunn's ass.
Yes. And then what else was there that was cool?
Ricky Starks and Big Bill.
In a squash match, but I want them to. I think you could do something with Big Bill for real. I really do.
Too.
I really do. Tony Storm goes full diva.
Yeah.
So here's the thing that I get my answer to from Collision is Darby's in the main event in a match that's awesome. But I was like, why is Darby in 2 programs? I'm like, can't we figure something? There's nobody else on this roster that can get this spot. We need Darby Allin in 2 separate fucking programs on TV every week. I know that he's real over.
Tell you what, man, I'll say this, he's killing it.
Right. But I was like, why the fuck 2? Like, you can find somebody else. Like, you should not be robbing someone else of the spot. Like, your roster's fucking big enough. But then it turns out it's because they need to, whatever the hell they need to do on Dynamite to merge those programs together.
Yeah.
But him and Cage were awesome together.
Yeah. So let's talk Dynamite.
Yes, let's talk Dynamite.
I liked the MJF and Adam Cole separate sit-down interviews with Renee.
Yes.
I thought they were very good. Much better than being in front of the live crowd.
Yeah. I like when MJF said, "I'm like the British Bulldog if he was Jewish and a good public speaker."
Yeah. What a line.
Really funny.
I like the differences of when they showed the tension between the two, and MJF just kind of shrugged it off. And Adam Cole got real animated about it. I was like, oh, man, they're doing so good with this tension with them.
For sure.
John Moxley, Ray Phoenix.
I love this match.
This was awesome.
It was so good.
I don't think it had any right to be this good for some reason. I mean, granted, they're both great, but like different styles sometimes don't work.
For sure.
It worked with these two.
I really like this,
which leads us to fucking Ray Phoenix getting smoked with a crowbar by Wheeler Yuta, which, you know, the rumor came out during the week. He had visa issues, so can't do the show.
Right.
Which Eddie and Penta start running to the ring, and they get cut off by Ortiz.
Ortiz dressed like a 1920s detective.
He totally was.
Yeah.
Wheeling the mad ball.
Yeah.
And then music hits and fucking Santana's back.
Looking yoked.
Dude,
he blew a leg, right? So he went on the tree. He
tore his ACL.
Yeah, so he went on
the upper body.
Right, he's quadruple Santana there.
Looked good.
Yeah, he did. For sure.
And they beat up Penta and they beat up Eddie.
Weird seeing him opposite Eddie, but...
Well, if you remember,
makes sense.
When it left off, Ortiz and Eddie were beefing.
Absolutely.
Santana, dude, I'm so happy he's back. I think they're officially calling him Mike Santana.
Oh, okay.
Which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
I love that dude. I think that dude's been great for a long time.
Yeah.
I hope him and Ortiz are friends.
He got hurt at the absolute wrong fucking time.
Yeah, he got hurt right when he broke away from Jericho. Yeah. You know, and it really bummed me out. But I hope him and Ortiz are okay.
Yeah.
Because I like them as people. This leads to my favorite fucking thing of the whole show.
So they're loading Ray Phoenix into the ambulance, and Eddie's watching.
So he gets loaded in. Penta jumps in. Ambulance takes off. Eddie starts walking. Camera's following him. He's like, "Get that fucking camera out of my face." Yeah. Renee Paquette comes walking up and says, "Eddie, I don't want to be insensitive." And Eddie just is like, "Did you see what your husband did?
Right.
Did you see what your husband did?"
Yep.
And smacks the mic away. He's like, "Get that fucking microphone."
Yo, you want me to fix this?
Yeah. And he's like, "Get that microphone away from me." And he's just like, "That's your husband? That's what you want?" He goes, "You want me to fix this?" She yells, "I don't want you to fix anything."
Yeah.
And he goes, "That's it. Wembley, I'm going to fix it." And the crowd goes nuts when he says that. That 20 seconds was so great. Impactful.
Yep,
I was like, Eddie is the fucking man. Renee is fantastic.
Yeah, she did a really great job.
Loved it. Oh man, I still need Eddie Moxley or some sort of come together of those two.
I don't see how we don't get Eddie Mox at the next week, the pay-per-view at the All Out.
Yeah, I
think that's when you do that.
All right, Ospreay Jericho.
Yes.
I saw a lot of people railing this.
Okay. I thought Ospreay's promo was really good.
I did too.
Yeah.
I guess people are mad because he's British and says bruv.
I don't give a shit.
I thought it was really good.
I thought it was the first time I've ever seen him show personality. Because New Japan doesn't really focus on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the one promo he had against Omega before Wrestle Kingdom was really fucking good.
Oh, right. That was good. Yeah, I remember.
But
where he's like, my contract's up. I don't know where I'm going to be. He's like, I'm working an indie show before Wembley just because I got to make sure I make enough money for my family to put my kids through school.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. Bruv.
Yeah, bruv.
Hey, bruv.
Oi, bruv. And him saying, I beat Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada in a span of 2 months, and I'm going to add you to that. Thought it was so good. Jericho was a little stumbly-bumbly for me.
Yeah.
If
Jericho wins that match, I'm going to eat Joe's John Cena hat.
Joe, make sure you bring the John Cena hat on Sunday. Another thing that's kind of weird, Darby Allin and Nick Wayne against Swerve and AR Fox.
Yes, which just becomes like a mugging of Nick Wayne again.
Yeah, which ends up with AR Fox losing. He gets rolled up by Nick Wayne.
Yes. And Nana fires him.
Well, yeah, because Swerve starts laughing and he goes, "This was a test."
Yeah, right.
And he says, you can't beat a child.
Right.
He's 18 years old and you can't beat him. You're out of Mogul affiliates or Mogul Embassy, whatever the fuck they're calling it.
Yeah.
Real, just weird.
Yeah.
And then I think Brian Cage comes out and levels him with the clothesline. Darby and Sting and Nick Wayne run him off. And Darby just instantly says, "I don't care, AR Fox. You're still my friend, even though you almost murdered Nick Wayne 2 weeks ago."
Right.
And picks him up and hugs him. Okay, the whole kicking him out of Mogul Embassy or whatever, I could live with that. But then Darby instantly like forgiving him was super fucking weird to me.
Yeah.
To which Swerve's out on stage and he said, "I'm always 2 steps ahead." And out comes Christian Cage, DJ.
Yes, he certainly does.
He sees Darby, he sees AR Fox, he sees the Stinger, but then he sees some new kid, some kid that he's heard a lot about.
Yep.
And what does he say to said kid?
Well, I'm going to play that right here because it is probably my favorite promo in a long time.
You have a father. And your father is dead.
Christian, get rid of him. Can we get rid of
I also understand that your father was a professional wrestler. Well, I've never
yeah,
heard
it's
of
a
your
cool
father,
music.
Buddy Wayne, before, so he must not have been very good.
Buddy Wayne, the man that trained
The
Darby
good
Allin?
news for you, though, Nick, is that because your father was such a talentless hack, you don't have a lot to live up to.
So I know he started off with what do you say, like your story or something like that. Dude, Christian Cage is so fucking awesome.
So awesome. Such a great, awesome. Such a great promo. Wrestling some really good matches. Like, he's really impressive.
When he came out, I instantly said, "Oh, Christian, get this boy's ass.
Right.
He's done."
Yep.
Acclaimed House of Black. So Acclaimed come out. They call it House of Black. Out comes one Mr. Daddy Ass, but he ain't Daddy Ass.
Right.
He says to House of Black, you could disrespect me. That's fine. He goes, but then you hurt my kids.
Right.
Which when I saw Austin Gunn tweet about it, be like, fuck you, Dad.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like seeing Billy back. I was hoping we were going to get Gothic Billy.
Yeah.
But we didn't.
No
but
Gothic
he gets a huge pop when he comes out. I think the Acclaimed and Billy become trios champs, right? I mean, I think that's the logical path here.
Yeah. All In is this Sunday.
Yeah.
Excited to watch.
Yeah.
From Wembley. It's going to be an early start on the East Coast for once.
Yeah.
So
you don't want to talk about Aussie Open Hardys? No.
Not really.
It
existed.
It's true. The one thing we didn't mention that I really liked that Aussie Open did was on Rampage or Collision. They cut that promo and Kyle Fletcher said, "You're not going to hit a kangaroo kick on us."
Oh yeah, that was
I just
Collision.
I think that's a really smart little teaser to get to tie it into the promos and get the match a little more hyped.
Yeah,
because I think a lot of people think that match is going to be throwaway.
I did like the ending again with the tension between MJF and Cole.
Yeah,
I thought this was very good.
Yeah, for sure.
Like MJF sliding the dynamite ring on and then putting it back in his pocket.
Right.
So yeah, man, All In this Sunday. Be a packed house,
big card.
Can't wait.
Packed house,
so
big
excited.
card. Noon start for the pre-show.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have sandwiches here.
All right.
They will be. Well, make your own. They won't be sandwiches yet. You'll have to assemble.
Are you making pre-made sandwiches?
No, you'll have to assemble your own.
Would you like some sandwiches? Yeah, I'm excited.
I think it's gonna be a really good card. A lot of people complaining about it because a lot of people just complain about everything.
It's true.
But I think it's gonna be some big stuff, and it kind of has to be, right? The show this fucking big.
Yeah.
But I think we're gonna get some stuff paid off, and a lot of stuff is gonna have to set up that next pay per view a week later.
Yeah.
So you're gonna see some stuff that isn't as resolved as maybe you want it to be. But I think it's gonna be a really good card.
I agree, man. All right, trip time.
Let's go on a trip.
We'll take a brief stop.
Hey, look at us. We're in Japan.
Hey, we
made it.
We're here.
Short trip this week.
Yeah, because, hey, Noah night N1, night 5 and night 6. What'd you watch?
Nothing.
Me neither, because there ain't nothing worth watching, apparently.
Stinky.
Like, extra bad from what I'm hearing.
It's so unfortunate.
Yep. All I know is I'm in the lead on the points still.
Good.
I'm up by 5 on Ed.
Good.
Ed told me I need to start doing bad.
Yeah.
So he can get his second.
Right. Ed had a big week. Ed learned about empathy.
He did.
Ed's also sad about Terry Funk.
Yeah.
He said if there's one person that should have been able to live forever, it was Terry Funk, and that's the best take I'd ever had.
It's true, man.
And there is a new episode of Hayabusa that just dropped today as we record this.
I will have to listen to that this weekend.
But yeah, and also like a little bit of a wrench, obviously, last night with Terry passing.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, I'm watching Terry stuff. I'm not.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Even, like, I finished everything up before last night, but even so, I would have been the same way. Like, I'm just going to watch Terry.
No New Japan show at all, I don't think.
None. They were off.
They did announce this Super Juniors tag tournament.
It's going to happen during the Destruction Tour.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with brackets and who gets released. And
who knows?
Who knows? Maybe there might be an opportunity.
Probably not, but we'll see.
If you decide to make a bracket.
I don't think I will, but we'll see. We'll see how that works. Yeah. But we both did watch Stardom.
Yeah.
You watched more than me.
I probably did, because I also watched the Tokyo Joshi Pro match.
Oh.
But it was Miyo Yamashita versus Shoko Nakajima.
Okay.
It fucking rocked. It was a one-cammer, no crowd. I still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yamashita kicked her in the head really hard.
Nice.
So Stardom, I watched 4 matches from night 9 of the Grand Prix.
Okay. I only watched 3 matches from the Midsummer whatever, so you go ahead.
So I did watch Momo Watanabe against Saori Anao. Thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of overhyped a little bit.
Okay.
A match that I should have told you to watch, Suri versus Hazuki.
Yeah.
Dude, they beat the shit out of each other.
I saw it was highly rated. I like Hazuki a lot.
They whooped up on each other's asses.
Yeah,
it was awesome. Also, Mayu Iwatani and Tam Nakano went to a draw. That match was fucking awesome as well.
So did Jake Lee and Jack Morris.
Cool. Dude, they had back-to-back nights where Jake Lee went to a 30-minute draw.
That's nonsense.
I would have unalived everyone. And then also I watched Azumi versus Utami Hayashishita.
Okay.
And that was really fucking good too. I know me just saying, it was really good, but, sorry, my brain's a little scattered right now because I'm, thinking of Terry Funk.
Right.
I didn't watch anything from night 10 yet just because there was another Stardom show, the Midsummer Festival.
Yes.
I watched 1, 2.
I watched 3 from that.
Me too. So I didn't write down everybody's name in the one match.
Okay.
I wrote down one person's name, though.
Is that Dump Matsumoto?
Dump motherfucking Matsumoto.
This is where I started. It is Dump Matsumoto and Odo Tai.
Okay.
Natsuko Tora and Ruaka and Zap.
Oh, Zap was there, too. That's right.
Versus Kyoko Inui.
Which is kind of crazy.
And Queen's Quest of Azumi, Miyu Amasaki, and Utami Hayashishita.
Yes. Dump is like in her 60s, I believe.
So Stardom did this and brought a lot of Joshi legends.
It was very cool.
Which is a really cool thing to do. Dump Matsumoto does what I think is an incredible thing has a Singapore cane pretty much throughout this whole match to use to support herself because she's very old and also to absolutely beat the shit out of people with.
Yep. Also, when she tags out of the match, she doesn't actually go outside on the apron.
Yeah.
She just stands in the corner.
Right.
Good for
Makes
her.
sense. But the match was okay at best.
It's
but
all right.
Dump and Natsuko Tora win with the mist.
Yeah.
So I was happy about that. Good for Dump. Dump gets a huge pop. I really like Dump Matsumoto. A legend.
Dump was like a true goddamn heel.
Yes, absolutely.
In her heyday.
Yeah.
Just
100%.
Terrified people.
Mean. And looked mean here.
Yeah.
So there you go. The second match that I watched was...
Did you watch the last 2 matches on the show?
I did, yes.
So did I.
6-man tag match. Cosmic Angels of Natsupoi, Saori Anu, and Tam Nakano with an incredible entrance. What an entrance they have.
Great entrance.
Natsupoi, and as you know, we are a couple Natsu boys. Defeat. And this was the match I was the most excited to watch.
Me too.
Hazuki, Shinobu Kandori.
What the fuck?
And Takako Inui.
Yeah.
One half of Double Inui.
Absolutely.
With from the last match, Kyoko Inui. No relation.
No. But Shinobu Kandori.
Sure, I was like, holy shit, Shinobu Kandori's on the show.
Yeah.
And I went to watch these today before you got here because I was just working and whatever. And I was like, oh, I know these are on here. Let me watch them. I was like, oh, these are long matches, kind of. But I did fit it in, thankfully, the last 2. But yeah, super excited to see Shinobu Kandori.
Yeah.
A legend, a real shit kicker. and didn't look terrible.
As you
slow.
referred to, one handsome woman.
Yes, well, sure. But a true shit kicker in the peak era of Joshi.
Dude, go back and watch her and goddamn Akira Hakuto's Wars.
Right.
That's all I have to say.
Like Stardom is really great right now. The Joshi of the 80s is so much better.
It's just different. It's all-time shit, man.
And my favorite thing in this match, Takako Inoue looked real good.
Yes.
Gave zero shits.
Nope. None.
And just kicked everyone in the face. She'd get kicked in the face, no sell it, and just kick you right back in the face.
That's what I like in my
She was
wrestling.
amazing. It goes about 16 minutes. It was a good match. It was fun. Obviously, Kandori's a little slowed down.
Sure.
While all that shit was happening. But it is really great to see them. And just a lot of fun for these legends to be sort of here and around.
Yeah, and they're kind of teasing Tam Nakano versus Shinobu Kandori
that'd be really
one
cool.
for the red belt.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Sure.
Oh, let's rock with it, man.
At the main event,
Oh,
the best match out of these three.
easily, yeah.
Really, really good match,
Dude,
actually.
Very good.
Six woman tag team. Jaguar Yokota, legend,
Like, legit,
in her 60s,
creator of the Tiger Driver.
Right.
Creator of the Jackhammer.
right?
Yes.
Yes, like, and does shit in this match that people should be stealing now.
Yeah.
Momo Nakanishi,
Momo Nene.
another legend, and Nene Takahashi,
Yeah.
versus the rest of Odotai, Momo Watanabe, and Starlight Kid, and Stan Hansen's favorite wrestler, you. This match ruled.
Dude, how fucking good did Momo look?
Momo steals this match.
Yeah.
Which is hard to do because Jaguar looked awesome.
Yeah.
Like, she's in her 60s and doing crazy cool shit. But, like, Momo hits an Orihari moonsault,
Yeah.
which was insane.
Yes.
I said, watch this match and just, if you are a wrestler out right now, watch just this match and steal from these ladies.
Yeah. Somebody by the name of Will Ospreay has definitely watched Momo before.
Absolutely. The Jaguar does a corner axe kick, which I didn't know was going to be an axe kick. She is thrown in the corner, and she does like the person runs at her, and she does sort of the leap up, but like you think she's going to kick him in the face, like do that to give him the boot to get him away, but she flips all the way up. And then when they're standing there, she puts her legs on their shoulders and then axe kicks him on the top of the head.
Awesome.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
And then Jaguar gets a bat.
Yep.
That bat made a very unsettling sound when it hit people.
Quite the thud.
It was almost cartoonish. Where I was like, "What is this bat made of?" It's very unsettling sound. And then so this match was 27 minutes. And
It
like,
didn't feel like it though.
Momo is full fucking speed in this match. Like, Kandori had to slow down.
Momo
Dom
looked
can
like she
barely
was in her
move.
prime.
Momo looked amazing, and she was having fun.
Yeah.
So Momo and Nene dressed alike as they should.
I know they were wearing their tag gear.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so awesome.
And like Nene is a regular in Stardom still.
Yeah.
But like she was even invigorated having Momo there. I would sign Momo today.
Yeah.
Just
Absolutely,
crazy
I
fun
would,
stuff.
too.
And then like the end of this match, the last 10 minutes of the match are just crazy pin breakups. Like nobody's kicking out at anything.
No.
It's just everybody's flying around the ring, breaking up pins and shit. And like Jaguar Yokota looks amazing. Like this one's like 62 or
She's in
63
her
years old.
60s.
And she looks so good.
Yeah.
Really crazy, just great innovators all around. Watch these people, steal from them, watch their old stuff, steal
their
from them.
shit, yes.
Steal their shit, because it's still so fucking good.
Yeah. Well, like we've talked about before, 80s and 90s All Japan women's, you could steal a bunch from there.
Absolutely.
Torimon had a bunch stole from there.
Absolutely.
Jaguar
Jaguar Yokota hits a Harlem hangover in this match.
Dude.
Her opponent was standing and bent over.
Yeah.
But she legit hits a Harlem hangover.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
Oh, so fucking awesome.
Yeah, I really like this match a lot.
Yeah. Stardom is crushing it.
For sure.
Night 10, I think, only had like 2 tournament matches on it. That's why I didn't watch, really.
Yeah.
Plus, I just...
Everything piles up.
But yeah, man, we have All In this weekend.
We do?
We keeping track of some Stardom shit.
Yeah.
Seeing what else is
I'm
happening.
been playing catch up. I'm going away for a couple days.
Yeah.
Completely unreachable.
You're gonna be off the grid.
So like next week, even like I'm gonna be missing Rampage and Collision leading up.
Yeah.
So like, because I'm not getting home till like 2 hours before.
Well, Collision was taped, so if you really
right.
want
That's exactly. I don't think they're going to do anything crazy on there that I'm going to need to see. If they advance anything, we'll see. But yeah, that's so excited for All In, and then I'll do what I can during the week to get caught up on everything. But
don't push yourself.
I will honestly, if I need to, probably skip those 2 other shows just because of my being on
I don't think there'll be
small
anything
vacation.
special.
I don't think so either. But if there's something worth talking about, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. That's it.
What
your matches.
favorite
right.
matches? International and domestic.
So
Small pool of international.
International. I feel bad because you didn't watch it. But
That's fine.
I'm going to pick Yamashita versus Shoko Nakajima.
Okay. Good.
You should go watch it.
All right.
Domestic. Before. I didn't even talk about it because I didn't want to. Monday Night Raw.
Oh.
Chad Gable and Gunther.
I heard he beat him by count out, right?
Yeah,
it's
Chad
supposed to be
Gable,
really
dude,
good.
fucking awesome.
Cool. Good.
Chad Gable did like the old like Tiger Mask chain wrestles, like headlock spin around.
Yeah, nice.
It was awesome,
That's
dude.
cool.
I'm loving those two together.
Yeah.
So like wrestling, I'm gonna say that was the best one. Even like from what we saw live and shit.
Yeah,
that was the best match I saw.
I like it.
Yeah. How about you?
I'm gonna say because it's a small, very 3-match pool only for me. The 6-man tag that we just talked about.
Sure.
Jaguar Yokota, Momo Nene versus Odatai and you.
Yeah.
And domestically, I had a lot of fun with these shows. Despy and Mouse tag match was the best one at those shows.
I agree.
But I think it's between 2. It's either it's Mox Ray Phoenix or it's Ray Phoenix Commander. I'm gonna go Mox Ray Phoenix just for the aftermath included and all that.
All right,
domestically, I really enjoy that stuff.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, that's that.
Did you buy anything?
A ton of shit, but we already talked about all of
I
it.
already did. I didn't buy anything else.
I didn't buy it.
separate,
No, I
so,
don't think I bought anything else.
I feel bad because everybody's getting their gobbledygook or taker 2-pack. Then mine should be here Saturday.
Okay.
I don't know why mine shipped.
We did get their shipping notification for our bubble, the packaging notification.
Yes.
I'll get the shipping hopefully tomorrow for our Ultimo Dragon Boss Fight Studio.
Hopefully by the time we record next week, I'm just sitting there playing with the Ultimo Dragon.
Ultimo Dragon versus Ultimo Dragon.
Yeah.
I did download WrestleQuest
Okay.
because you can get it on your phone through Netflix for free. I didn't play it because I did watch the guy. They were giving away a title belt, so I watched the Twitch stream while I was working. And I spent 2 hours on that Twitch stream watching the guy play that game. And it still has all the same problems I thought when I beta tested it.
Good.
So I'll get around to it. You know,
Just get back in the fire, pro, like me.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I saw a lot of people ragging on WrestleQuest because it's a little cheesy because it's like it's not wrestlers, it's toys of wrestlers.
Okay.
Like it's a toy land.
Yeah.
So it's like a wrestling toy, and like you go to a world where they're not wrestlers, but they're other toys who are trying to wrestle. And like, so people are like, this is real dumb and blah blah blah. I'm like, people are just trying to be cute,
outside the box, man.
Whatever,
that's
right?
All.
But and it's fun, and I'm sure people really like it. And I am going to play it. I was hoping. I also tried to get some codes, but those go super quick on social media.
They do, man.
But I have it through Netflix, which you can do on the app on the phone. I guess you can get it on your TV too, and use your. You can download. Roku has
just like your remote.
Yeah, so I learned this. So Roku has, you can get the Roku remote on your phone as a remote. They have a games app that you can download, and it's a separate app that's a controller, and you just use your phone while it's on your TV. So,
nice.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really it, right?
That's all I got.
I guess we'll get out of here. We talked long enough. Thanks for listening, everybody. Rest in peace, Terry. Rest in peace, Bray, Wyatt, Wyndham Rotunda. A crazy week in wrestling.
Yeah, man. Kind of weird.
Our thoughts out to everyone's families and friends, and it's a tough week. And I can only imagine. So, we'll be back next week talking the big pape and whatever else is going on. But thanks for listening. This has been We Need Wrestling. You can find us at WeNeedWrestling.com. We Need Wrestling on social medias. I've been uploading them to YouTube. They won't be usually till Fridays. I'll try and do it tomorrow morning because it takes a while to do the video.
If you can, you can.
Just for another outlet.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
We're a proud member of the Soon to Be Named Network at STBN Network on Twitter and Instagram, soon to be named network.com, soon to be network.tumblr.com. Tons of other shows, Final Wrestling Place, At Odds with Wrestling, Long Box Heroes, Long Box Heroes After Dark, our other show, Wings on Wings, was the Profane Argument, Puzzle Warriors 3, the new episode of Hayabusa dropped as we were right before we were recording this. So give all those a listen. Listen to TNM shows and all that sort of stuff for
Shout out Dwicky for being you.
Right. Shout out to Dwicky for being awesome. The official fifth chair on every podcast, I think, on the Soon to Be Named Network.
Yep.
Listen to Stardom Cast because I ran into my buddy Matt Turner, at one time nephew of Ted Turner, this week, and it was good to see an old friend that I hadn't seen in a while, and just to run into and make sure everything's doing okay. So that was nice. But otherwise, we'll be back next week, talking hopefully less sad news.
Yeah, I'll leave you with this.
Okay.
Woman, you didn't run over just any jackass. You ran over Ric Flair.
You're listening to the soon-to-be-named network, the Lamborghini of podcast networks.
Knock it off, nerds!
Straight out of Texas, kicking ass and taking names from the double-cross ranch. Nothing stays the same from Japan to Smoky Mountains, Philadelphia, PA. The focus on team destroying everything in the way. He's the king of extreme, he's the blood on the map. Fuck you, fuck you. To all your famous faces that came to the bed. Fuck you, yeah. I was on from above, I just smacked on your head. You come to Bump's Grill, right there you were dead. Everything's a lethal weapon, even a plastic bag. You won't see terrorist face in the covers of pussy wrestling. He's the king of extreme, he's the blood on the map. Fuck you, fuck you. To all the famous faces that came to the dead. Fuck you, yeah. He's a man that big out town to get the job done. You want a maniac from Texas, Terry Funk is the one. All the red sucking dogs, get all the straight to hell. You want someone destroyed, the fucker does it well. Well, he's the king of the stream, he's the blood on the map. Fuck you, fuck you. To all the famous faces that came to it. Fuck you, fuck you. He is the king of extreme, he's the blood on the map. Fuck you, fuck you. To all the Hulkamaniacs that came in with them.